Halal HaWah. Welcome to Prester John Investigation, installment number 138. My night, we popping off. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. We got an update. We got an update on this German map of the ice walls. We're going right into it, Italian PNC. We got some flat drop last time, so this is going to be a mixture of some of this flat drop, connecting it with Prester John. You know what I mean? Italian PNC himself connects, this flat drop with the land of Prester John inside and outside the ice wall. If you need to get the drop, man. Get the playlist, catch up, man. If not, just belly flop. ThaWaDa to all the cons that's supporting Prester Pak number 3. My nigga. This is going to feel super big like the first one because the first one had 1 through 60. The second flash drive had 61 through 83. And this third one is going to have 84 all the way up now to 138, my nigga. So that's almost 50 something, almost 60 more full videos. I'm going to put all three on one single flash drive. And the one I'm looking at ordering, it converts to be able to plug into your phone or your laptop. I don't know if it's every phone. I don't know which phone. But hopefully it works for yours. And if not, you got it on your laptop. And it's going to have 138 full videos, man. I mean, you do the math, man. Like 4 hour average, 3 or 4 hour videos, sometimes 5. All on one flash drive that you can plug into your phone or computer. So along with the links, the maps, you know what I'm saying, books. You got hundreds of books already with Prester One and all that. So my noggin, man, we here. You know what I'm saying? All the description below has all the details. So we're gonna do Prester 1, 2, and 3 for $45 up until Shabat. We did it for last week, last straw. So if ThaWaDa to all the cons, hit the Cashapp for that. It's $45. Hit our Cashapp so we can get your name down and you'll be, on that first wave of orders going out for Prester. I call it the Prester conglomerate, man. It's gonna have 138 full videos on one flash drive, so it's only $45. We're doing everything we can to make it super affordable for the cons. It will go up, my nigga, like probably double almost, man. So this is the full conglomerate. It would probably go up to 90 eventually, man, because it's a lot of work that goes into preparing each one, and the flash drives as well are going up in cost, man. So all this includes the shipping. Only $45. Get yours, man. Don't watch this without taking advantage of that because that's our entire investigation on one flash drive, man. And you can pass that as a gift to somebody. You can just say, here, man, just dig on it. You don't need the internet. You don't need none of that. Ask the knockers. I got Prester 1 and 2. You know what I mean? And if you need one or you're missing one, sometimes we do drop the ball. Orders come in. Sometimes they slide in, and something might be going on, and we apologize for that. So, Halal HaWah. And Shalaka Drop Nation. If we ever drop the ball, just let us know. Hit us up. Email us 432thedrop@gmail.com. You know what I mean? And just make sure we get you whatever drop you need, whatever you're missing. And if we missed anybody's order, we're going to give you a free Prester conglomerate, man, with all three on one flash drive for free. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we keep everybody happy. Drop Nation, man. It's the tribe, man. So if we're missing anything, let us know. We're going to hit you with a free Prester conglomerate. Or if you just want Prester 3, you can get it for $25 for now. You know what I mean? That might double to 50. So, we're doing everything at least half off over here for all my knockers before Shabat to make sure you can get all the drop, all three for $45, my knocker. You know what I mean? So hit our Cash App, all the description, all the links below. 432 The Drop Radio on Cash App. 432 The Drop Radio on Cash App for the Super Flash Drive Prester conglomerate. You know what I'm saying? All up in the ether, man. So ThaWaDa to all the concepts already popping off and all your support. And it's all happening, man. Let's go, man. Look, we're searching for Prester John. Again, it's real simple why we do this, right? It's real simple why we do this. Because it leads us back to, really the foundation, the establishment, you know what I'm saying? The law, the code. no other power before me. See, once you in this flow, you in that KTC, then we can search for ThaWaDa, but never the other way around, right? Never the other way around. You don't go through a hijack to get to the Father. No, you go directly to the Creator, right? To get in the flow. What's the flow? That mem sauce, that water. Now you can link into your inheritance because you're a righteous flock. Now you can require a righteous shepherd who must return for that because you've been playing a harlot. You've been an adulteress. You've been dealing with these harlots. You become a harlot yourself. They turn into other gods. Man, nah, you can't play the harlot no more. You got to be in solitary, right? And the cons is waking up out of solitary, out of that Ruach Tardema. The children of Israel are returning, right? Because you went many days without a king, but now you shall afterwards return. So if you feel a little different now, it's probably your junk DNA reactivating. I got to get some drop from the sister Kavi, man. She has some great drop pertaining to this junk DNA as well. And just the awakening of Israel, Asherah, because you seek the Creator. That means you desire the Creator. That means you keep the code. And when you seek the Creator and keep the code, then you start to also seek King David. Not some BC version, but the Prester version, man, the forever version, the version that Jeremiah 30 says, whom I will raise up. Since you return, you start to seek David. This is what we're doing when we seeking the Khan. But we ain't the only ones seeking the Khan. This is why we on Prester John 138. There's so many books about this, right? But you just had to know where to look. Right. Khan. So how do we know where to look? Because we're seeking. Right? Because you're getting out that dark trouble, right, Jacob? But you shall be saved. HaWah will break his yoke from off your neck. The hijack says, HaWah, burst your bands. In that day, what day? When you're no longer a slave and you serve the Creator directly, UKTC and ThaWaDa. So both verses, Hosea 3 as well as Jeremiah 30, are talking about you seeking the Creator directly first, and David, your Khan, whom I will raise up unto them. This ain't no BC version of King David. This is when the shepherd requires a flock, and a flock requires a shepherd. David can't require a flock if it ain't righteous. A righteous flock got to be righteous. Got to be righteous. Got to be righteous when we talk the sheep that scattered. Because those shepherds before, man, they allowed the sheep to become a prey. We're not talking sheep as in, oh, the sheeple people. No, we're talking about a righteous flock that needs a shepherd. You need a Prester, priest king, priest queen, right? Because when we search for David, we're also searching for the counterpart, Bathsheba, right? We're searching for that Sheba flow, Shambhala flow. Yeah, now we could talk 760 stuff. Go, but first, we're talking flock. Verse 20, thus says HaWah, behold, even I will judge between the fat cattle and lean cattle, because you thrust with side and with shoulder, and push all the weak with your horns, till you have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock. Who? Who will save you, Drop Nation? I save my flock. But now You're the flock because you're listening. You're keeping the code. You've been in solitary many days without a king. You forgot about your royalty. When I say Prester, priest, king, you say no. That belongs to the Caucasian. When we talk about European royalty, you say no, that belongs to Caucasian. American royalty, no, that belongs to the Caucasian. Everything belongs to somebody but you, right? I will save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey. And I will judge between cattle and cattle. And then what? HaWah. I will set up one shepherd over there. So there's no confusion, boss. You can't argue Yahweh Shai with me. You can't argue. No, I think Jesus is the shepherd. I will set up one shepherd. Joshua, Yahweh Shai. This shepherd is forever. One shepherd. Not two, not three, not four. He shall feed them. Right? Because you got to eat. We all got to eat. Oh, man, look what they done. Look what they done to the Hebrew chart. Y'all see this, man? This is a disgrace. That's messed up, man. I keep having to get new copies of the Hebrew chart. That's, it's sad, man. Because clearly it was up, so I was just using it. Then they come with this malarkey. Man. Hebrew ancient chart. Come on, man. Gotta find another chart. It's all good. I just want to show y'all this right quick. I ain't gonna go crazy. They ain't gonna drive me crazy. They can keep deleting these links. I mean, why remove an ancient Hebrew chart, right? Something like this was the one we was using, right? Why remove this chart and make me have to find it again? What is it about connecting to your Ibaru that the hijack, just wants you to be left out? But it's all good. We see it right here, Jack. We see it. We got you. First 7 letters. Again, the first 7 letters tell the story, at least the beginning, right? So you want that strong power in your family, in your house. And with this HaWah, right, you start to gather, you start to enter through an entrance, a door, a door. Aleph, Bet, Gam, Dal. Period, right? No confusion. Search for HaWah and King David. When you go to that door, you get your and then you get your wah. The breath is the AH or HA. It's a breath. Inhale feminine, exhale masculine. Not a man, but a woman, but a queen. Big mama gives you that breath. She has her hands up. She's the breath. Proverbs chapter 8. She's understanding. Power is mine. That's Big Mama. You dig? Because you need the breath to get the power. That security comes as an added hook after you can breathe. You can punch. You can throw fire out. You need your framer and you need your shaper to eat, right? Because David's supposed to feed you. But first you search for HaWah. You get your added breath. You get your secure look. You get your secure revelation, your foundational revelation, your breath. Then you can eat and get nourishment, my naga. We're talking about the same food when we're talking about being fed. He shall feed them. I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them. Now you're getting your food, right? But not without your breath and not without your added security. Wow. It doesn't say ha, yah. It doesn't say Ha-Jah, ain't no Jah, it ain't no Yah, it is Wah. And it's right there in your face, Malaya. If you continue not to see it, you're choosing not to see clearly. But this is the year of the dragon. We're talking food, we're talking eating, we're about to eat right now, right? Get this Italian PNC, but who's gonna feed us? My one shepherd. Even my servant, David. So again, repetition breaks the spells from a wave service. We know this. Hosea 3, search for HaWah and David. Jeremiah 30, whom I will raise up unto them. After you search for HaWah and David. Ezekiel 34, David, he shall feed them. He's the one shepherd. HaWah will be their power. And my servant, David, prince or Khan among them. We're searching for the Khan. Who's the prince? 1828, no, what's dictionary? This Prester 1. 38, I got the violins playing. Had to switch it up on y'all, man, just to get you in this violin flow today, man. Because you the copper color races found here, my naga. You got the Kyber crystals, you the Jedi, you the Judah, you the Hyperborea. Shout out to my con. I think it's H Hollow on Discord. We about to check in on the Discord cons, man. Hyperborea is the Kyber, is the copper, man. Is the Eber, is the Heber, is the Hebrew. But what is the, how do we say the Ka? Yeah. Who's the Ka? Even in 1828, right? We're talking about a chief or prince, right? Among the Tartars. But then it became in Persian officer answering to the governor. So now the Khan has to answer to the governor in Europe, right? Because they've been hijacked. But amongst the Tartars, not in America when they've been hijacked, but the Tartaria, right? Which is India Superior originally right here. We're talking chief. We're talking prince when we talk Khan. So who's the prince forever? Who's the Khan? And you got a Hebrew Khan, meaning right, the Jewish, they say Kohen, right? They say Kohen today, but the Khan is the Khan. Ooh, they said German. That's funny because we about to talk German. Who are the real Germans if the Germans are swarthy, Yahweh? Who's the real Germans if the Germans are swarthy? It is of Jewish origin, which means priest in Hebrew. Got it. They turn it to Cohen or Cohen in the Jewish. Cohen is Khan, like Ameri-Khan is Ameri-Khan. So we're just talking priests. So the princes is synonymous with the priests. These are anointed kings, especially Dawi, Psalms 89, talking about the covenant of peace. So who's the Khan? Who's the Grand Khan? Who's the Ameri-Khan or the American? They say can as if C-A-N should phonetically sound like K-I-N, can, right? You know damn well when you see C-A-N, my nigga, you say can, like a can of soda. You don't say can, but they want you to say American Because they say Ameri-Khan. Like they say Cohen, but not Khan. They say Ken, but not Khan. They say Can, but not Khan. But Can is Khan. Ken is Khan. And they took your Khan when they took the title of the original copper colored naga that they just found here. They didn't bring you on boats. They just lied on themselves, told on themselves. They just found you copper nagas right here. And you're the Khan. And Khan means priest. Khan. And Khan means priest. Khan means, Prester means priest. John means king. King is also prince. King and prince are synonymous in the Hebrew and all that. So you have priest, king, you have the Khan, the chief. You have a tribal chief. Is that so weird? Oh no, you ain't gonna be chief of me. You always had a chief of your tribe. What's wrong with you? What happened to you, man? You don't have tribal chiefs where you come from? You don't have princes? No kings? Oh, you your own king. You your own chief. You gone many days in solitary. You forgot all about the Khan. ThaWaDa. I have spoken, it says HaWah, that my servant David shall feed them. I will set up one shepherd over there, and he shall feed them. Because you got your now you got your food. Because the Zion is the Zion. Okay. Why do we search for David? Anaga, why are they searching for David, right? They search all around for the Khan. We were supposed to return. We're supposed to get in code. And in code, we're supposed to see clearly. It's a year of the dragon that we, as a righteous flock, as code keepers, are now requiring a shepherd. Out of code, don't even think about David. You in solitary, boss. Without a king. In code, right? The children return. In code, you KTC, MHOE, most high of everything. Exodus 20 got us in code. Deuteronomy 5. Now you can talk David, man. Come trembling to HaWah and his goodness in the end of days. Remember, we talking about the ends of the earth. I got y'all, the ends of the earth. I'm just letting you know it's been many days, man, without a God. Now you've returned. You seek the Creator and Khan ThaWaDa. Why are they searching for the Khan? Ends of the earth. Why are they searching for the Khan? Lost tribes and promised land. Ronald Sanders, let us know, man. I belly flopped on this chapter. I just had to get this couple paragraphs right quick, man. Oldie but goodie for the Khans off the balcony, man. I think we read this maybe Prester John number 1. All right, so Lost Tribes and Promised Land. Let's go, man. Chapter 8. Columbus's Golden World. Yeah. So Columbus was lost, right? Nah, man. Columbus had help. Lots of help. You could even say HaWah was helping Columbus. Because it was time for you to go many days without a king. It was time for you to go into a deep sleep, deep slumber. It was time for you to go into a Ruach Tarde Ma. HaWah said, I'm going to bring over the worst of the heathen to go conquer you, man, because you ain't listening. You don't want this beautiful playground. I'm going to let some other kids play in your playground that I designed for you. You're going to have to sit back and watch them play on your yard, on your playground. The high sea was most necessary for me, Columbus wrote in his journey for September 23rd, 1492, 17 days out at sea after a month-long stopover in the Canaries. By now the crew were becoming restless, and there was loud grumbling among them that they would never go back to Spain. They had encountered few winds blowing back eastward, and on this day the waters were so becalmed that the soldiers, or shallak sailors, claimed the sea simply was not high enough to bring them back home again. But then, out of nowhere, divine intervention, my naga, the waves rose dramatically without even a wind, so that everyone was astonished and silenced for the time being. Columbus got help from somewhere. Brought right over to your ass, right? Because you weren't in code. This is when Columbus made the entry just quoted, adding that nothing like this has ever been seen, save in the time when the Jews went out of Egypt. He said, this is divine intervention, just like when the Israelites were free and complained against Moses, who had brought them out of captivity. We do not know much concerning Columbus's crew of about 90 men aboard the 3 ships, but at least one of them was an Israelite whose presence as such was not merely accidental. This was Louis de Torres, a convert, not an Israelite, an Israelite-ish, right? Convert of possibly only that year, who had once held a position with the governor Mercia. So he was in the government, all right? He was said to have known Hebrew. So why would they bring a Hebrew man, a man that speaks Hebrew, converted to Hebrewism, Judaism, to come interpret? Was it an accident or was it intentional? Was it an accident or was it specifically planned, right? Yeah, it's some more and more war. He spoke Arabic, Aramaic, all to come to America, and Hebrew. He didn't come speaking Algonquin, man. He can't speak in Hebrew, Jack. Now we know this Algonquin and these languages here have a connection with the ancient Hebrew, but don't act like, you know what I mean? He can't speak in Hebrew, boss, right? And had been brought along by Columbus specifically, not accidentally, intentionally, specifically as an interpreter to speak to who? One of the purposes of the voyage, as we have seen, was to find the great Khan. Khan means priest. He's looking for the Ameri-Khan, right? If you don't think he's looking for the Ameri-Khan, then why, oh why, did the British Museum, circa 1530, showing connections between Marco Polo's Asia and the New Lands, put Prester John right here where the 4 corners would be in America, right? Mexico, India Superior, Prester John. We know we're looking for the Ameri-Khan. The British Museum knows they're looking for an Ameri-Khan. The Portuguese monument is dedicated to these seafarers looking for Prester John. From 1145 to 1645, we keep saying, what man do you search for? From 1145 to 1645, 500 years, boss, unless he has the Fountain of Youth. Research the Fountain of Youth and its connection with Prester John. Prester means priest, John means king. We're not just talking about, you know, one Prester, one king. This is a title. It's a title that someone wears when they're wearing the function. What function? the shepherd function, the connecting function. Joshua was a Prester. Moses was a Prester, right? David is a Prester. Forever one shepherd. Great Khan. Columbus is looking for the Great Khan. Again, 1530 British Museum map. Columbus sails the Ocean Blue 1492, right? It's 1530, boss. So 30 years later, Columbus is looking for the Great Khan, and they got Prester John on the map in America. They stopped looking for the Fountain of Youth in Ethiopia and all that stuff over there and started looking for the Fountain of Youth in Florida about 500 years ago. So the seafarers are searching for Prester John from 1145 to 1645, and suddenly they stopped looking for the Fountain of Youth anywhere else but America, because after 1645, suddenly they stopped searching. Why? Because they found something and started searching for the Fountain of Youth in Florida, boss. Talking India Superior, the Far East. We're going to talk ends of the earth, right? Let's go. So one of the purposes of the voyages, as we have seen, was to find the Great Khan. And Torres, the Hebrew convert, right, was to be the mouthpiece for this encounter, presumably on this basis of his Hebrew. Perhaps Columbus and his supporters had decided that the Great Khan reported on by Marco Polo and others might be the Israelite king who dwelt across the river from Prester John. Now, this is saying a lot, boss. So by the time Columbus comes, let's put this together, boss. Genghis Khan invades Prester John, 1202 or 1203. There's a takeover then. So anything happening after then is Genghis and them that have stolen the title of Khan. Right now you're calling him Genghis Khan. Before that it was just Genghis something else, right? Genghis something else. He has all kind of other names. So now he's called David. Now he's called Prester. Now he's called Khan. Yeah, Genghis is called David. He took the title David too. Get the drop. He's the Khan. He's the David. They even call him the Prester. Now, who's the Israelite king across the river from Prester John? Couple of theories. One, Genghis Khan's peoples, right? Or Genghis Khan, possibly. Because if Prester had the fountain, Genghis probably got the drop on the Fountain of Youth too. Just like the movie Kang, or, Marvel character Kang. He's king of the timelines, right? Keep the timelines in mind. Keep the Fountain of Youth in mind when you want to think Marvel. And keep the Prester in mind, because Prester John is a Marvel character. Go look it up. He's at war against these hijacks, Avengers. He's at war against Iron Man. He's at war against Thor. He's at war against all these. He only teams up with like Deadpool and Cable, something like. He's at war against all these hijacks in the Marvel. That's why they haven't done a Marvel movie about Prester John. But he was also at war against Kang, Kang, who knew how to jump the timelines, had the technology, right? Genghis Khan could be Charles V. Genghis Khan could be jumping the timelines all over the place. You know what I mean? The truth sounds stranger than fiction. So, another thing is, this could just be the Israelite king of, let's say, the northern tribes. And somehow there's, this separation between David and the northern tribes, just like the script, where they had their own king. This is where it gets to the deeper connection with the Sandmanyan, because this river that's separating them, he's going to go later into the Sandmanyan River. I just want to, get a little more, because we're going to bring it into the ends of the earth and get back to Italian PNC, because he's going to start talking ends of the earth. And I just want you to be ready for it. Land was sighted on the night of October 11th, and on the next morning, which was a Friday, the Spaniards reached the island. that they subsequently called San Salvador in the Bahamas. There they saw nude men, and some of them set out for shore in armed boats. The boat bearing Columbus and two of his captains holding the banners of Spain preceded the rest. When they landed, they stepped ashore and, staying close to the boat, solemnly proclaimed possession of the island in the name of the king and queen. The no doubt astonished islanders gathered around and asked Columbus writes of his historic encounter, quote, I, in order that they might regard us with great friendship, because I perceived that they were a people who would be better delivered and converted to our holy faith by love than by force. We're going to get some Samuel Sewall selling of Joseph, love to let us find the truth. We're going to dig on a little bit of this ancient love song versus what they call the excellent the new tune they had to bring to the natives, which is Christianity, right? So they said they took away our ancient love song and gave us a excellent new tune. What happened to Mama? What happened to our ancient love song? What happened to wisdom? What happened to our frequency? It's like 432 verse 440 hertz. The International Standards Organization, the British Standard Institute, changed the concert pitch A chord, A equals 432 to 440. And now all these concertists, all these musicians in concert are now playing 440 instead of 432. We got to search to get the 432 now, or we got to tune it to 432 ourselves. Same thing happened with this ancient love song that's been replaced by what they call an excellent new tune. Just like, oh, now, you should be happy that we want to convert you, right? To our holy faith by love than by force, but we know that came along with it, right? And there was no love. Gave some of them a few red caps and glass beads, which they hung around their necks, and many other things of little value, which gave them a great deal of pleasure, and so won them over to us, that it was a marvel. They're marveling at us, astonished. The act here may hardly seem a worthy offspring to the thought, but Columbus had shipped to Guinea a few times and knew the value that small trinkets could have against the background of the usual treatment of primitive peoples by Europeans. In this epic, Columbus's trifles shine forth like jewels. Columbus was the latitude of the Canaries, and it was clear the aboriginal people of those islands were now providing his mind with the worldly model by which to perceive the islanders in front of him. There is a touch of Boccaccio's Canaries in his ensuing description. They came, then they came swimming to the ship boats, where we now were, bringing us parrots and clues of cotton thread, as well as spears and many other things. We took them in exchange for other things. We gave them like small glass beads and hawk bells. In short, they gave us as they received all with the utmost pleasure. But they seem to me a people very poor in every aspect. They go around about naked as when their mothers bore them. The women too, apparently, although all I saw of them was one very young girl. I only saw young men, none of whom seemed more than 30 years old. They were very well formed, with very handsome bodies and very fine faces. Their hair was slick and rough. Slick and rough. Almost like that of a horse's tail. And they wore it down to the tops of the eyebrows, except for a little in the back, which they let grow long and never cut. Some of them paint themselves a sooty color, although they are, in fact, the colors of the Canarians, neither black nor white. So we say, copper color races, you mean? Because we ain't black either, right? Some paint themselves white, some red, some whatever color they can find. Some paint their faces, some the whole body, some only the eyes, and some only the nose. They do not carry arms or even know what they are. We showed them swords, and they grabbed them by the blades and cut themselves in their ignorance. They do not have any iron. Their spears are wooden sticks without iron. Some of them have a fish's tooth at the tip and other things of that sort. And as he contemplated these people, was Columbus perhaps recalling the peaceable multitude who greeted Edris's man from the sea? Now we back in the Biblios. Now we back in the Bible. Huh? You just rolled up on like a like a Garden of Eden type of thing. And do we take their narrative of these people are just so ignorant to weapons, or did they roll up on a kingdom, a priesthood, and a civilization? Skipping down here, it says, neither are they black like the Ethiopians. He goes on, their hair is smooth and straight. They do not dwell where the rays of the sun strike most vividly. So we're talking about here. There have been rumors and indications among the people encountered of other natives of the islands who were fierce and warlike, who ate human flesh. All right, so now we're talking about cannibals. And these cannibals had straight hair, is that right? All right, so they weren't as melanated. All right, and they didn't dwell where the sun hit. All right, okay. This clearly was meant as a reassurance to anyone who felt, as he did, that black men tended to be more barbarous than whites in any condition. Columbus returned home in 1493, thinking that Cuba was part of the Asian mainland. Or did he know that this is Asia Major? While there, he had even sent Louis Torres on an expedition to find the great Khan, but he nevertheless clearly felt himself to be closer to the region that Ailey and others had gone on referring to as Fortunate Islands. In spite of the Canaries, then to Ethiopia in any sense of the term, he had come to the part of the world where East meets West. But his approach to it was westward, and so was his vision of it. I mean, we're just talking about this golden world. What does it say here? I would think their life most happy of all men, if they might therewith enjoy their ancient liberty. We're about to be talking ancient love song. A few things content them, having no delight in such superfluities or just material things, for the which in other places men take infinite pains and commit many unlawful acts, and yet are never satisfied, whereas many have too much and not enough. But among these simple souls, a few clothes serve the naked, weights and measures are not needful to such as cannot skill of craft and deceit, have not the use of pestiferous money. They don't even need money. They have no use for it. When everything's free, everyone gets love, man. You don't need money. When everything's free, you don't need money. Free doctor, you got your land, you got water, like you got food. The seed of innumerable mischiefs, so that if we so the money is the seed of innumerable mischiefs. They're admitting it. So that if we shall not be ashamed to confess the truth, they seem to live in that golden world of which old writers speak so much. Golden world is where they found you, Managi. However they want to paint the picture, they found us in heaven, right? They found us in a golden world. But we had to go to sleep and spend many days without a king. because of our harlotry, going after these gods of Atlantis, Egypt, right here in American soil, hijacked by Genghis already in the 1200s. More and more war, right? Wherein men lived simply and innocently without enforcement of laws, without quarreling, judges and libels, content only to satisfy nature, without further vexation for knowledge of things to come. Here then is another milestone in early history of the noble savage. What? The noble savage. Put that together. Oxymoron. What savage is noble, right? They turned the nobles into savages. Or really, we became savage when we kept that harlotry and idolatry going. We became noble savages. Damn. Here then is another milestone in the early history of the noble savage Columbus, who gave to the peaceable multitude of the islands the name Indios because he considered their habitat to be the Indies, of course, but perhaps also because he thought of them as living in God, in HaWah, maintaining a vision like Peter's, but it was also more alive with religious and mystical implications than that of the rationalist clergyman. For the next few dramatic and untimely, um, disastrous years of Columbus's life, there was a constant pull between the visionary and perhaps the messianic streak in him on the one hand. So he thought of himself as a messenger. Indios, in God, in Dios. So Prester John, king of the Indios, is the king of those that are in God, my noggin. Prester John, king of the Indies. It's the Khan of Khans, the Rex Nichols, which is why when you return, you seek HaWah and David the shepherd. Hebrew Khan means priest. Right? You could put in Prester John of the Indias, 3 Indias back, they say. Lord of Lords, and claimed to rule over the 3 Indias. This Prester John, they call him a Christian. Nah, he's King David. He's not holding a cross, he's holding the towel. Nah, he ain't no Caucasian. Now when they keep calling him the Ethiopian, the Abyssinian, I'll be seeing you. El Prester Juan, priest, king. Yeah, we got the real tribe. That's Prester 138. You know that. So he's the king of the 3 Indias, the Emperado, the Abyssinian, ruler of India, right? But by chance, the British Museum has him right here in America. What's that? Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, Cibola, Calelus, all that, right? In America, Monaco. So this is what? India Superior, right? 3 Indies. We know we're in India Superior. We know we're in the farthest east. The letter describes the rim as a land of riches, marvels, peace and justice. We just got these people were at super peace. These people we were marvels when they found us, right? Marvelous. Yeah, so they're saying he gave the name Indios because these people are in God. So Prester, the king of the Indies, is the king of the Nagas that are in HaWah, the priest Khan. One shepherd forever, King David, is as priest Khan as you're going to get. Read Psalm 89, because the covenant of peace is with ThaWaDa. What about this ends of the earth business, man? Let's get it back a little bit. Prester John, or the new Ethiopia, right? That's where it all started, man. Because Henry the Navigator's seal to find him may seem surprising in the light of the dismal history of the race relations that was to ensue as a result. By this time, most educated Europeans, listen up, most educated Europeans consider Prester John to be what they call black, right? So the paintings, the descriptions, the Ethiopianness, the Abyssinianness. Ethiopia comes from Abyssinia, predates Abyssinia, which means the mixed multitude. Abasa became what they call Ethiopia. And the mixed multitude is you, right? The tribes, Israel, and everybody rocking with Israel in code. That's the mixed multitude. But what does it say about this, Ethiopia? Sticking on this, the letter is purportedly addressed to the Christian emperor. In some versions, Manuel Byzantine, and others, Frederick Barbarossa, by John the Presbyter or priest. Presbyter, priest. Prester John, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. So this is a higher office than the Pope. Matter of fact, the Pope is like a remix of the priest, of the Prester. There's only one King of Kings, man. You're talking ThaWaDa. You're talking whom I will raise up unto them. And when we talk Ethiopia, remember, they laid it out in the fine print. The three Indias, right? This later concept of three Indias became a standard one in the Middle Ages. One of the Indias faced Ethiopia, quote unquote, or Africa today, according to the pseudo ideas. One faced Persia, and the third occupied the ends of the earth. Now, Italian PNC gonna bring up the ends of the world, and we're gonna connect this to the ends of the earth when he does. The ends of the world and the ends of the earth is supposed to be the same damn thing, right? The world is the earth, and it's all supposed to be a planet or plane between the ocean and the realm of darkness. The third, where they found us, Magog, became especially fruitful for the geographical imagination. America, right? The region of untold islands, Indies, right? In which the plural term Indias, etymologically one and the same as Indies, which we just got, meant in God, right? So these are the people in the Creator, in God, in code, supposed to be keeping the code, right? Came to rest once and for all. And he's the Khan of the three Indias, the Rex Negus, King of Kings. We're talking Prester John. When John informs us that his territories comprise the Python, they're saying suddenly the vague immensity takes on a biblical tinge. This is deepened when John informs us that his territories comprise the Python, which is one of the four rivers that rise up out of the terrestrial paradise, according to the second chapter of Genesis. How much does Columbus go into this terrestrial paradise in his writings? In the Biblioteca Colombina, Sevilla, Spain, right? He breaks down, coming to or doing this voyage so that he can conquer, this Mount Zion, reconquer Zion and all this stuff, the Holy Land. He's looking for the Holy Land. He ain't looking for India, but he knows India's superior is got the biblical tinge, right? It's the Holy Land of old, but they call it a new world to throw us off. But this country, John's country, contains the gold and the onyx. It also flows with milk and the honey. A hint at the location of this realm is provided by Genesis 2:13, which tells us that another of the four rivers of Eden, the Gahan is also Jahan, compassed the whole land of quote-unquote Ethiopia. John tells us that his palace is in Susa, the ancient capital of Persia, with this also implied proximity to Ethiopia in the vague geographical imagination of medieval Europe. As the centuries pass, the continent's realm of the Prester John letter clearly somewhat south of the original Tartar centers of the legend. And we just got that Tartar, the Khan means prince, right? Was to be increasingly identified as Ethiopia. But later they're going to say this is all vague. This is all vague. Then we get into the great San-Manyan River. We'll probably pick up next time. Definitely with this San-Manyan because it plays super duper heavyweight. And this is when you get into the esoteric, the hidden stuff, man, when it comes to the Jewish flow. You start looking at these little Jewish PDF books and putting San-Manyan, man. They all got a version that they're talking about. They know this is at the heart of things when it comes to that, man. So, but can they claim it? Again, we're talking the Indies. There also were less mysterious, more valid definitions of the three Indias among medieval geographers, but for most Europeans, even the learned Europeans, the term covered a vast and distant region of dark-skinned peoples. So anywhere you are, so-called dark-skinned, you're an Ethiopian, culminating in a countless array of islands in one direction, and in Ethiopia, the biblical Kush in the other. So whether you're going this way or that way, Ethiopia exists because dark-skinned people are everywhere. So which Ethiopia you want to talk about? You want to talk India superior or India inferior? You want to talk Asia major or Asia minor, boss? You decide. But we're talking about the ends of the earth, between the ocean and the realm of darkness, untold islands, and Indios in Hawaii. Who oh who, my nugget? Who oh who is Prester John? Ruler of three Indias. Who's the Khan? Who's the prince? And who is the Ameri-Khan Naga? Cause you still got your title, don't you? Don't you, boss? You still is who you is, right? Khan? Khan. Let's get into Italian PNC. First, shout out to my Nagas that's digging on the Patreon. We're digging on simulations and observations. Just drop a little drop from this book, man, Just giving some quick drops, quick reads. Go dig on it. Couple minutes of your time. I'll be popping in for my Patreon con. So go get others drop on Patreon. We're gonna keep just running it up for the land, for all the projects we popping off. You know what I'm saying? For a family. You know what I mean? For the Shabat time, like whatever we can build and monetize on these platforms. You already see what the vision is, my nigga. You already see we buying land. You already see we building our land. So what you don't see is the consistency, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. And shout out to all my fence building Nagas, all my Eat the Squad Nagas, all my Nagas in the community that I'm building with on the daily, in real time out here in LA, or, you know what I'm saying, Texas, or, my Nagas in New York City, Chicago, you know what I'm saying, all my cons, man, Georgia cons, Carolina cons, I love y'all, man, because they don't see, us building in real time at all times, but my Nagas know that the revolution ain't gonna be televised. And it's a spiritual flow, you know what I'm saying? Keep connecting, my Naga, in the highest vibration, in your community as well. Keep building in real time, my Naga. I just appreciate everybody leaving these comments and dropping this drop. These are just different ways, that we're, fighting to stay connected, man. The Patreon helps us so much. Click the link below as well as the Discord. Get in here and just drop your drop, man. Just drop your drop. Have a good time because all the drop is here. The family's here. We got all the tabs that we normally have up on the website just so you can stay in the flow. And as we add it to our website at 432thedrop.com, all this will be in one place. So you ain't got to go nowhere. It's all right there for you at 432thedrop.com. Who got the drop? It's just you telling us what the drop is of the day, man. Indigenous truth, flat drop, most high over everything, man. Leave some inspiration. 432 frequency, any frequency. Just drop your drop. Tribe Up Music, MHOE Fashion. You got some fashion drop. My designer, Soulbone Podcast. Drop that drop, man. Anything you heard on the podcast you want to talk about? Who is Prester John? You already know. Dragon Drop, Off the Grid Cons. Tie Battle, Brother Nature got their RV. So we want to know about Off the Grid. CJ Battle on the land right now, popping off. Yeah, man, some jabroni tried to hijack our lockbox, get in our shed, but HaWah kept us silent, man. All praise HaWah. We got dragons on the wall. And shout out to Con CJ on the land right now, just, doing the cleanup, doing a pickup, man, making sure our plants are good. He said we still got some life out there growing, man. And we appreciate you, CJ, for taking care of our lock on our shed and just everything you're doing, man. Support the con, hit our Cash.app so we can keep, just keeping the family circulating on the land and just making sure that these type of things we're able to nip them in the butt and, show a steady presence out there in Utah, man. Click the links, support the con. Everything, you see in the description, man. This is what we're doing. All right. So wealth drop, sports drop, science drop, tech drop, gamer drop, some dropping these games. Food drop recipes. Chef Candy gonna be taking it off. All my chefs, shout out to Con to vote. All my chefs, drop your recipes for the tribe. Let us know what the weather looking like, some high strangeness. Nature drop. Secret drop. Genealogy drop. Special request by the homie Kels, the administrator in here in the Discord. My IT noggin, you know what I'm saying? Map drop. So then we'll do some Let's Pop Off. Eventually we're gonna pop off and we can invite people into like, a certain space and, right here on Discord and, just have good conversations. You know what I'm saying? Actual vocal, vocalize our stuff, really, really talk on it, So just look out for the pop off and it's called Let's Pop Off. And like I said, it's gonna feel like some flat drop here in Preston 138. It's gonna feel like some flat drop, some indigenous truth on you, some map drop, all that. Hyperborea or Kyber, Copper, Eber. What does Hyber have to do with the Heber? Ebor. Shout out to T Hollow. We gotta dig on this. Y'all dig on this. This is in the flat drop. Just dropping. Just across the drop desk. I guess okay. He says dodge, bob, and weave all the hijacks. Well, this is what we do here in Drop Nation. Top Battle told us that. Dodge all hijacks. And again, shout out to the Battle family. And you know what I mean? Because, the battle's up in here. Top Battle's up in the flat drop. She over there, Wheel of Fortune. She in the flat drop 101. She dropping some news drop. I mean, look, you click on it. It's a lot of drop happening. But check it though. CJ Battle on the land right now. And he's over there, making sure, man, we spiffy, man. He's watering plants, man. And the bros, bringing it to life for us. Aqua Sam, Aqua Oceana, Aki Onyx, man. All the cons, man. We appreciate y'all. Top Battle Brother Nature Battles. They got their RV, man. They from spot to spot, place to place, blowing in the wind, man. East to west, west to east in the RV. We're going to learn all about this RV life because this is really freedom, man. Freedom in a real way in a lot of ways, man. So I just want to say ThaWaDa to CJ Battles and Aqua Sam on the land right now, man, popping off and making sure that, we get a quick solution to our lockbox situation, man, on the shed. And we just know we got hijacks everywhere. They're watching, they're trying to hijack, just to put an interference pattern. But we know we got dragons on the wall and hijacks better back playing with a knocker like this because you really taking, you taking some, real violating steps, man. You know what I'm saying? You in violation. So the interference pattern that comes back to you, man, is something you created. If you in that type of violation, trying to hijack the land or hijack any knocker anywhere, because it's the year of the dragon, man. So shout out to T Hollow, man. He's going into Hyboria. We might come back to this Hyperborea flow because I hear a lot about Hyperborea in the fabled tales. I hear a lot about Asgard in the fabled tales, right? Hey, last time I got this, you live in a lie, right?
Imagine if somebody took the whole Earth and cut out a small circle. Then they took that circle and wrapped it around a sphere and told you that's where you live. That's all there is.
Shout out to flatearthday.com.
How would you know? Now imagine that our world is a much larger, expansive plane with many world ponds.
So when we say outer space, Monaga, we ain't taking away your space. We're saying there's outer space. You could breathe. There's more space. They found new land and new Nagas. They called this the New World. When you think world, what do you think of? A ball? Or just a whole nother terrain, a whole nother world? You can go in the earth and find a whole nother world inside the earth, right? So, Monaga, they keep finding more worlds, man. Admiral Byrd found more world, 2,300 miles past the South Pole Point. We got that last time. Shout out to F. Amadeo Giannini. Worlds beyond the poles. We'll get some more.
And they did the same thing with a small section of one pond. They cut it out and wrapped it around the sphere and said, this is where you live.
Mm-hmm. Now look how the ice ring becomes a little blob.
This is all there is, and you're not allowed to explore south. How would you know?
The ice ring disappears.
It's time to break the matrix.
The ice ring disappears. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Look, man, get in Flat Drop 101. It's all happening, man. I just appreciate everybody on the Discord, man. Yo, man, this that NASA document. My bro said, look closely at the highlighted section. St. Thomas, what it do? Yeah, man, you can read it, man. It's, you got it. This aircraft demonstrates the derivation and definition of a lunar aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant flying. What does it say? I can't tell. Of constant something. Rigid aircraft of, I think that's constant. Can't tell that one, but it says flying flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. I know this because we got the document, so I memorized this, but I know that's real blurry. But you get the point, man. It's a flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA's telling you. So they got their aircraft already modeled for stationary, constant. It's constantly flying over a flat, non-rotating. Why even develop something for a flat, non-rotating Earth if it's impossible for that to even be the conditions? If you're on a spinning ball, why even talk flat? Why even talk flat, non-rotating? Why do you need something to non-rotate if everything's rotating? I mean, things that make you go, blue, purple, red. Yeah. I picked these colors out myself, my naga. Shout out to my naga. Kales in here. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're in the Discord, you see Administrator Kales. That's my IT naga, man. He's locking it down for us, man. Making sure our website is secure. Making sure we Gucci, Uchi. You know what I mean? Making sure we connected. Even talking tech drop. He's talking, creating drop currency, my naga, with these, drop coins that will have value in all of our interfaces. You know what I'm saying? Like, IT Naga popping off. Shout out to Kales, man. So, all right, man, get into Flat Drop 101. You know what I mean? ThaWaDa to my cons, man. Again, man, because stuff like this really helps us in our situations like we are now, that we don't got to take no step back. We continue to take step forward. And for the dismount, I might have to get some of this pill. If I don't get to it now, I might do a whole nother drop, just kicking back and enjoying CJ battle, man. This is my very first, sit down in terms of like me being interviewed. I've done radio interviews. And I'm always, taking the wheel, but my naga CJ took the wheel, man, and I appreciate my con, man, because, I don't know why I just never, really engaged in interviews or none of that stuff. I don't go live and do all that, but, I guess I'm a dinosaur. I guess I'm just a dragon, man. But, yeah, for CJ, man, I said, let's go. This is my first one. Ask me what you need, man. Now, we had a great time. This is probably the most fun I ever had sit down in any type of camera setting, man. So, CJ Battle got the drop. Check out the pill, dig on it. We go up, man. Again, this might require a whole nother drop, man, because I'm going to have too much fun with this. But we'll see what we can do for the dismount. We'll see, man. So everything will be there for you. Our Patreon connection, our Discord connection, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as original drop and, original broadcasting with the 432 The Drop Radio platform. And shout out to the Ether Squad because we're coming in hot. June 14th, the continuation of the fifth wave. And look out for the fifth wave t-shirts and the fifth wave gear being designed right now by MHUE. Five Eyes Mile. Take the wheel. All right, man. Hit the link for the Discord, man. We up, man. We up. All right, I'm going to jump into this Italian PNC. He's going to say some things. We're going to get some questions answered, my naga. Again, we're just talking about this German ice wall map. And we've, pulled up a couple depictions from the last drop, right? This got people like, okay, some people like it, some people are confused, right? They see this little thing up top. Almost looks like a North Pole type thing, but this is clearly a flat map, flat Earth, so such and such orientation. You see the full ice ring, so we're not on ball spherical time. So again, what is this going on right here? And it's more land beyond the poles. This is what we was getting from the book Worlds Beyond the Pole. By F. Amadeo Giannini. Saying even in the 1920s, U.S. Navy was already penetrating further and further past their established pole points, right? Last time we got a little bit out this navigator who crossed the ice wall drop. Okay. But Nas Confounding. Look up the great reconner Nas Confounding. He got a lot of map drop connecting a lot of things and a lot of stuff. So we read into this, We got into we were at chapter 10 last time, the domes, the apprentice, J of the worlds beyond the walls of ice, right? We talked a little bit about the artificial walls, Maybe we'll have, some time to belly flop into something, land on Mars. We can go anywhere. We might want to talk custodians because they seem to be the hijacks behind it all. Human reset. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? All right. We will get into some lost tribes and promised lands, medieval empire, the Israelites as well, man. So we got all that up. Hey, welcome to Prester John 138. And it's going to feel a little flat drop. It's going to feel a little map drop. It's going to feel a little indigenous truth. But definitely this is Prester drop. Halal HaWah. Hey, we got some violins in 432 if you don't mind. Shout out to Maestro. Musing. Corelli. Concerto. Grosso. Violin. 432 hertz. Yeah. Had to switch it up on y'all today. Ooh. Okay. Fall back. We talked a little Terra Infinita. Get this book dropped on us by Dizzle Fitty. Another Nas Confusion connection. 178 worlds under the dome. Yeah, it's talking about a great dome that encompasses 178 worlds. And I said, is worlds a planet or is it just like more land? When you think planet, do you think spherical ball or do you think plane? Flat, spread out. And anyone trying to turn a plane into a spinning ball because you add a T on it, any of them got to be making devious, right? They are repelling and dissuading us from the right path. So you're getting off track with your spinning ball out of spread out, out of flat, my naga, to spread. That's devious, is it not? Is it not? Spread out, flat. Got it. So when they say worlds, right? Worlds beyond the poles, are we saying spinning balls beyond the poles? When you say 178 worlds under the Great Dome, there can't be a Great Dome around 178 balls, my nigga, but we got planes, right? Flat, spread out. Planet worlds is flat. So worlds is flat. Worlds is flat, just like planet is flat. More flatness, right? At least 178 worlds. Flatness. God. And we got some of this last time. I'm just saying. How many worlds? How many ice rings? How much Antarctica and South seems to be everywhere pointing away from magnetic north. And east and west, according to these arrows, is counterclockwise and clockwise. And we went in a little bit on these, how many suns we see, right? And you got a newborn sun right here in the middle. Spirals out after the ice age. Newborn. So there's a new sun being formed, right? Where they say the black sun is. This is one day going to be the sun in this spot. And this sun here is going to be outside. So the sun that was there with Lemuria, right? The same sun that they were using in the Atlantis versus Lemuria Mu. They had the power of the sun. They had sun weapons, right? That's not the same sun as we got today, Jack. My noggin. Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis. They got Atlantis way out here. Look. Did it have the same sun? This is Goog. There's another one called Zol. But Zol is not Sol. Right. I'm just saying. So how can we have the same moon? That's why you got people that have tribal records before the moon and all that, because before this moons, well, they're calling Set and Anubis. That's why ThaWaDa don't like this moon. Be popping up all over the place, right? This plasma, it's just plasma. It's just plasma. So these suns that's born in the middle, it's just plasma, right? Black sun, plasma, right? Energy, frequency, right? Come on. So which moon? Which moon were the Israelites going off of, let's say, right? They said 1,000 years ago. So which moon were they going off of? Is it the same moon from this time? Same sun? I don't think so. There's different suns and different moons. There's different Yahs and different Jahs. Yeah, they call sun Jah and moon Yah. So if that's how you're referring to the creator, you got to think, can they play with the creator's name like this? Sun and the moon is what you saying. We saying most high over everything. We saying breath is security. Fifth and the sixth letter of the Hebrew is not a Yah or a Jah. It's Wah, because we talking Hebrew. So we'll get back to it. We'll get back to the Hebrew. Let's go. All right. Cool. But yeah, they got different rings. Some got less rings. You know, you see them now being sold on these little shop, online shops. This one's a little clearer, I think, when I zoomed in. It's a little bit. But I'll leave these links, and look, are these correct, accurate? We don't know. Is the map you got today correct, accurate? How do we know unless we see clearly? You know what I mean? For ourselves, we have to be witnesses. But all in HaWah's time, because all that Antarctica ice that's melting, my nigga, is gonna show you the ancient lands for real, for real. And it appears that HaWah, kind of just had this waiting for us, covered up, prestige, preserved. There goes those arrows again, and they always go clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And what does that got to do with the electricity, the voltage of the water, that mem source? Halal HaWah. So, what's this map popping up all about? Well, all this ice ring situation. Terra Vista. Well, we got last time, it just means vision or view, like a view, like land of vision, land of view. I don't know. All this is Terra Vista to them. All this is just Terra Vista. Then they got Terra Fuego. You know what I mean? Somewhere by right here. We're going to get a clearer joint. It'll get, but right here would be Terra Fuego, right where it should be, South America, right? So what ice wall is called hot. Fuego means hot, heat, right? Hot. Now, this one doesn't show in particular gateways, but it looks like it shows an ice shelf and then the continent underneath the ice shelf. You know what I mean? So you see like the lighter white or whiter, you know what I mean? Yeah, the lighter color is like the all around ice shelf, but inside that is like an outline and inside the lighter background, you know what I mean, which shows land masses specifically But that lightness kind of is the ice that's bridging it all together. But underneath, you have these specific lands. Now, if you take away that lighter part, then you see gateways, don't you? Yeah, man. You know, it's all ice now, right? But without that, it's just openings that you can just slide up out.
And welcome to a new Italian PNC video. Today we will be looking at something completely new that was sent to me by one of my subscribers who was interested in the topic. So what exactly is this? So it gets kind of crazy, okay? Let's start by that. This is a flat earth map, but not any flat earth map. It's a very specific kind of flat earth map. And apparently, but based on basically what I could find online, it was made by the Germans during that one period in history where they were doing a lot of expeditions in the Arctic and the Antarctic. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm of course talking about the Second World War and the period right before it, because a lot of the people in the German High Command were very interested in the concept of esotericism and generally a lot of the things that had to do with Antarctica and the Arctic. So that is why this map is in German, and it has a lot of those references to those time periods where Germany, was kind of doing their own thing. So first, let's just get into the actual map, okay? Because this is kind of wild. First of all, I had to censor some parts of the map, unfortunately. It's these black dots you can see right here, and they will be censored on each part of the map, because unfortunately those were that one symbol that Germany used in that time period, which of course YouTube doesn't want me to show you, and I won't be showing it because otherwise they would block the video, but you know all what I'm referring about. It's that one symbol everybody knows about, the one with the little stanky legs, going in a circle basically, but it's it's that one. I'm not gonna refer it by its own name, but you all know what I'm talking about.
Crazy.
So first of all, what actually is going on in this map? First of all, we can see right here that the Earth, as we know it, is right here. So we have Africa, we have Arabia here, then we have Europe, then we have Asia, and what appears to be South America, North America, and in this case Australia. Then things get a bit quirky. We have a continent here which can't be easily recognized and appears to be something akin to Lemuria or Mu. I've seen the other maps that are in this video and they show it as Mu or Lemuria depending on the map. And then we have more continents in the west of the African coast. And finally, we have what appears to be a layer of ice walls, which kind of like disintegrates upon itself and becomes multiple masses, land masses, and gives birth to a lot of theories. So also we can see that the map is actually in German, like we can actually see it. Once again, I can't find the actual source of this map. It does not seem to be some sort of like modern project. It seems to be an actual thing that was made during that time period, but if it was, that's kind of crazy. And if it isn't, it's still kind of crazy that somebody made this. I really couldn't find many things on this, but I still wanted to take upon this challenge of a subject in a video because, it was asked to me by a subscriber which contacted me on Discord. Remember that if you want me to cover something on a video, you have to contact me on Discord. I won't be replying to comments on YouTube because there's so many of them and I can't read them all, but also simply because it piqued my interest because it was kind of crazy and I've never seen something like this before. So going from this, let's go to the second image, which is somehow this exact map, but it's like made into a mouse pad. It appears to be somebody like you use this to actually like make like a product and sell it. So I don't know what's that about, but it's interesting that mouse pad of this map exists. Once again, these black dots are the parts that I had to censor for that one symbol. But in this map, we can actually see a bit better what is being shown here. We have some names that we can recognize. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I can definitely see an Asgard here, and I can definitely see I can't actually see what this means, but this is definitely Asgard. It's written Asgard, and you might ask yourself, okay, what about Asgard? Well, in every single map of the Beyond the Ice Wall series, of any series honestly, has Asgard in it, because a lot of people believe that Asgard exists outside of the ice walls, and there's multiple theories. Some people believe that Asgard exists in the first layer beyond the ice walls. Some people believe that it exists in the second ring, as we've seen in the main map that we've been dividing into episodes in the main series of the channel, which is Beyond the Ice Walls, the second ring map. And of course there's even people that think more in the like Nos Confunden kind of proposal, which is basically that Asgard exists as a firmament of itself outside of Earth, and is connected to it by like a passage, like Bird's Passage. But I don't really know about that whole thing. I think it might have been more probable for Asgard to exist as shown in the maps we've seen before, but this is definitely an interesting proposal. I'm going to zoom in into something that is not a mousepad now, so you can actually see better. And this is this one image I managed to find. This is the most high-resolution image of this map, and it's only a portion of one single part, which is, I think, this one right here. So we can't really see much of the rest, but we are able to see at least this one in very high detail compared to the ones we are seeing before. I'm noticing also that these have the continent of Africa figured here, so we can actually see some places that we know about, like in Africa, so Angola, Namibia, South Africa, Botswana, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Gambia, and so on and so forth. And even the Atlantische Ocean, so probably the Atlantic Ocean, to be honest. It's German, I don't know German, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's very interesting, and we see also some other things that are very, very interesting. We can see something here called New Schwabenland. So for those that don't know what New Schwabenland is, by the way, I'm pointing towards this thing right here. Let me just highlight it with a different color so you can see it better, in a better light. This thing right here, New Schwabenland, okay? And New Schwabenland is basically what the Germans during the, that one period in history, so around World War II, called the territory in Antarctica which they were claiming ownership of. In fact, the Germans traveled all the way to Antarctica, or what many of these maps call the ice walls, and arrived and basically created literally a land claim over a vast territory that I'm not really sure which country claims it now, but even so, there's the Antarctic Treaty that kind of forbids any country to own land in Antarctica in the historical sense. It just allows them to have like a limited claim and stuff, and like research bases and stuff like that, and then they don't really allow people to visit much, so a lot of people are interested in that. And in this case, New Schwabenland was made way before the treaty was signed, so people, or rather countries, were actually claiming land in Antarctica for their own use. And we can see that in this case, New Schwabenland is represented as part of this like kind of fractured ice wall that extends outside of the main core of the Earth, or at least what could be interpreted as such. There's also other things here which I'm finding interesting, is the fact that a lot of these seem to be in Spanish, or in other languages are definitely not German, like Terra de Vista is clearly Spanish, or Portuguese. I'm sorry if it's Portuguese and not Spanish, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Spanish. So that's interesting. A lot of these maps that are like very well made tend to be something that comes from the Spanish side of the world, or at least the Spanish-speaking side of the world, so not only Spain, countries in Europe, but also just the Latin American countries and some African countries like Guinea Equatorial. And yeah, I think it's interesting that a lot of these have some Spanish tendencies, especially since the Spanish were some of the first explorers to, cross really what was believed to be the end of the world. With Columbus, of course, it was an expedition that was, funded by the Crown of Spain. And of course, a lot of explorators and navigators were sent to distant lands to find things for Spain. So it makes sense that a lot of these contents are in fact in Spanish, because it either proves that the maps are very ancient and they were made in very old times, or that at least the source of them inspired these new, more recent maps to be made in Spanish, or at least have Spanish elements. Anything else that I can see? Okay, let me see. Balkanischer Ocean. I don't know what Balkanischer. Balkanischer sounds like Balkan, but clearly can be Balkan. I am finding something interesting here. We have a UFO, something in German. I don't know what that means, but it is definitely a UFO. That's what they're saying. Also, when again, this is had to censor this, but of course, we're talking about this little landmass right here next to New Schwabenland, and they're saying there's a UFO base there, which apparently they changed the name of UFOs, guys. You guys know more than me this, but yeah, they changed the name. They don't even call them anymore. They call them something else. I don't even remember what they call them. I'm gonna keep calling them UFOs. That's how it's always been, and that's how I'll always remember them. We also have Princess Elizabeth Land right here. This is a more well-known part of Antarctica, actually, and I know it makes sense to show it like this, but it's interesting that Prince Elizabeth Land, which by the way is right here, is shown as separate, like in a map, by New Schwabenland, which if I remember correctly, according to UN maps of Antarctica, it's like whole the same thing. It's not divided, so there's no straits that pass between them. So that's interesting. There's an archipelago here, which is called the Amadak Archipel. Okay, archipel. I'm gonna assume this is like a truncated word, so an acronym or something. No, sorry, not an acronym, just a slashed word. So archipel for archipelago. So that's interesting. It's this archipelago right here. And of course, we can see Asgard, as I was saying earlier. You see Asgard right here. So yeah, I could see that even in the horrible graphic of the first map. Unfortunately, really not something you can really deep delve on. But who cares? What else? Thimblison ice shelf. Okay, ice shelf sounds like ice shelf, so at least that's that. And Thimblison, I don't know what it is, but it sounds foreign. Okay, so interesting. Maybe they found another ice shelf we don't really know much about. So that's interesting. And also, I'm noticing this Liberia, which, okay, this could bring to controversies if I don't explain it. Liberia is not only like a country, because a lot of you might know that Liberia is in fact a country in the African continent. And if I go back to this map, which, oh, never mind, if I go back to this map, we can see probably right here that Liberia does in fact exist here. It's not really focused, but it does say Liberia. And Liberia is one of those countries that were created pre-colonization, or at least pre-European colonization of Africa, pre the massive colonization of Africa by Europeans. It was in fact created by African Americans from, America, mainly the United States, that decided to go there to resettle after slavery was abolished in the US. So yeah, it's interesting to see Liberia called here, but once again, I'm going to explain this very quickly. Liberia by itself does not mean only that specific place and the African continent. In fact, Liberia mainly is used to refer to any like free land, like as in like literally land of the free, which can be either like an autonomous society that has developed singularly from the other societies of the world, or it can just be anything that really represents a state of mind of liberty or freedom, which means that the land itself is not owned, which might be the case for Liberia in this case, which means probably there's nobody in here, aka it can be claimed and owned and settled, or at least that's how I would see it. Of course, we can see that the composure, oh, no, not certainly the composure, the making of this map is like very interesting. Even the colors, we can see that the colors for like Africa and these continents right here seem to be much those that we see in our own kind of.
We're gonna get on this Germany. A snapshot already. We're gonna get on this journey, but I'll leave this for you so you can understand the brief history of Liberia. He has his own presumptions. He's gonna come to his own conclusion. But at the same time, he's gonna start talking about there's a Prester John inside the ice wall and a Prester John land outside the ice wall. So why can't there be a Liberia inside the ice wall and a Liberia outside the ice wall? Just so you got the drop. Liberia was founded in 1822. Now Marcus Garvey was born like what 1870, 1880, something like that. And then he started pushing for Nagas to get to Liberia, right? Out of America to move to Africa, Liberia, right? 1822 as an outpost for returning freed slave. So it's really like a catch-22. We'll free you, but get the hell out this country. And we'll give you a black leader too, so that you can follow him out this country. We'll free you, but get the hell out, right? So look up Abraham Lincoln's, whole situation trying to send the slaves out the country. So it's all happening. It grew into a colony, eventually became Commonwealth. Achieved independence 1847 with the help of the American Colonization Society. Descendants of the freed slaves, generally known as American Liberians, remain in social and political control of the country since 1980. So get some more drop on Liberia. There's a lot to it. Again, the Garvey flow connects to this. There's a lot. Doing a lot of talking, popping off. Prester 138. the real Pan-Africans, right? 7 things to know about Liberia. Marcus Garvey's flow. So this is just so, you can, get some stuff they're saying about it and do your own recon, of course. Ultimately, Garvey pushed for all black people in the world to return to their homeland in Africa. So, you already know. They'll send someone that look just like us to take us out of our own homeland in America, right? And say all black people come from Africa. Pan-African. What about a pan-native? Like the Combs say. All right, we're just talking Liberia. So why is there Liberia on this map of the archipelago of Antarctica? And what's it got to do with Nagas here, Nagas there? Because he kind of want to take like the blackness out of it and make it just a thing of freedom. And it's not just about black people in Africa. We ain't really saying Africa. We saying what's it got to do? Because again, these African Americans were leaving America to go to Liberia, right? Question number 3, right? Were they leaving America to go to Africa? Or were they taking a ride to world beyond a pole? Let's go.
Kind of like firmaments, so we can see like green, yellow, deserts, mountains, and grasslands and forests. But it appears that in fact all these territories in what would be Antarctica, or at least the ice walls, a very archipelago-like ice walls, are in fact covered with ice. So I'm not really sure how you could explain like life being there, or at least I don't really understand how you would be able to settle them. I know there's basis of research in Antarctica itself, like of course the one that the Germans were trying to establish during that one period in World War history, and also of course the ones that exist right now, but that's not really the same thing as like actual settlements in the same sense that we have them right around here, the main core of the world. So that's interesting to say the least. Let's see what else we can find on this map. It's the first time I see it as well. I just looked up it very quickly before making the video because I really wanted to give you guys like a first reaction, especially since I couldn't find like actual sources for this, which means that it was meant to be like a reaction kind of thing from this. We also free the Kartar Sea, which I don't know what Carter is. Tartar. If it was Tartar Sea already would be more interesting because Tartars, I've talked about them quite a lot, or it could be referring to like the ancient Greek concept of Tartarus.
1 letter rule, Horse Butler. Or it could be the Karakata. The kata is the cat they, get the drop. So Karakata, Kartar, Tartar.
But Carter, I'm not really sure what that is supposed to be about. What else do we have? We have a Macy here, right here. Interesting. So there's many islands here, and this strait connects to the lands right here, and it keeps going here. And if you can see on this map, this is just this. This is just that. So I'm not sure why exactly only this part of this map is high quality, while other maps I couldn't find them like in better quality. But yeah, also I want to talk about this for a second. What the hell even is that? Honestly, I have no idea what this is. It looks like the Arctic, how the Arctic is represented in maps. So there's sheets of ice without land on it, and we can know this because they don't have the black borders that the land masses have. But then they all go into like one single bowl here, and this bowl seems to be like some sort of ice cap, but it's black, like ice cap, like North Pole kind of thing. At least that's what this believed. But then again, this is not definitely not a sphere kind of like map. We can see it being very different from a sphere. And the map itself, it's called literally Flat Earth map in German. I don't remember the translation, but it's something like Flat Earth, something like that. Yeah, so Okay, also, before we go out of this map, I also want to mention that Atlantis is represented right here, like actually Atlantis. So if we go back here, we might be able to like see the shape of it right for a second. And in this case, Atlantis seems to be represented like off the coast of Africa, but since America is like right on the other side for this map, then Atlantis would be in between the ice walls and Africa. But I don't know. I've always been more of the idea that if Atlantis existed, it existed outside of the ice walls, not inside of them. Like Mu as a sunken continent, if you look into it, could have some theories, Lemuria as well, but like Atlantis as like a landmass, I've more been like into the.
I mean, just like Liberia, it's inside and out. Why can't Atlantis have the same correlation with the vortexes, just like Prester John and Mu and Lemuria? Who could tell us for sure if these islands and continents are still there? He's going to say, well, we would have found it here if that was that. We who? What exploring are you doing, man? First hand, not just second hand, third hand. Let's go.
Concept of Atlantis being that one place in the Sahara, if you know what I mean. That place in Mauritania, I believe, the Eye of the Sahara. And if you look into it, I made a video about it very, very long ago, and it was part of like a separate series talking about like the very, very distant past. And I think that's way more reasonable to think than to think that Atlantis exists as a like an actual continent outside, inside of the ice walls. I think we would have found it if it was inside of the ice walls. I don't think we would have like not been able to see it. Oh, there's an oasis here. Interesting. Oasis. Okay. Huh. I really wish this map was better quality. It appears to be that this map itself. Wait. Okay. So this one and this one are the same thing. Yeah, they are the same thing. And this one is like digitalized, but it's the same thing. Okay. And also, before we move on from this, we also have Koning Maudland, which means King Maud's land, I believe, or Queen Maud's land, I think. And I think that is like territory that is recognized even nowadays in Antarctica, so that's interesting. And once again, it does not connect with New Shawabaland, but it does connect through an ice shelf right here, Lazarev ice shelf, with the Prince Elizabeth land.
God, these ice.
So according to this map, New Shawabaland.
So these ice shelves underneath are showing that there's pristine land underneath. They don't have to be color coded. You could just see this land and mountains and all that underneath the ice shelves. Now you might be connected through the shelf for now, but when the shelf melts, there's the gateways open back up. When the ice melts, the gateways to get out are everywhere. So that's part of the reason for the ice too. Is just like the firmament. Hijack City got to stay in here for a minute. You know what I mean? Once it opens up, it's all happening. It's all connected. So yeah, all these are separate. All these are separate. It's not just one solid wall until the little ice age hit, right? The little ice age, recon the little ice age.
So the place the Germans arrived to is separate, and it's closer to like places like Liberia or these archipelagos or the UFO base right here. Interesting. I really, really, really am interested in this map. It's something I really can't wrap my head around, and it's so random. Like, look at this. Look, what are these inscriptions? What do they mean? I can't even see what they're saying. They're in German. I can't even translate them. But they're so interesting. What even is that? Is that supposed to be like an eye? An eyeball?
Wow.
Circular veins of the eyeball?
Wow.
Is it the moon? Okay, talking about the moon,
Uh-oh.
we do have something that has to do with the moon about this map. And this is basically that the people that saw this map think that it is a flat Earth map as a reflection of the moon itself. So that's kind of insane. Not insane as in the, like, it makes no sense. Insane as in the, what the heck? Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is basically saying that this is the map of Earth if it was representing the moon on a flat Earth basis. So if you see the flat Earth map of the moon, and you kind of overlap it with this specific flat Earth map of our world, Earth, then appears to be somewhat
Now we could talk vibes of the cosmos, man. So you see all the recons coming together, Italian PNC, vibes of the cosmos, Nas confounding. Back to the, old flow. Let's go.
adjacent. So that's interesting. Flat Earth map as a reflection in the moon. Yeah, you can kind of see it honestly, like this.
Okay.
And this are very similar now that I see about it. Oh, wait, no, it's not perfect though. There is definitely some similarity. Okay, I want to do a little project here and just grab this, make it a bit smaller, right like that, and give me the layers right here. Look, okay, I think I'm starting to figure it out with you guys. So this is clearly this. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's very similar. Even the like lines next to it, so meteor crash kind of thing. And the oceans kind of do go close together. Like, okay, this shape right here and this shape right here are kind of similar. I can see that. What else? This area right here, which seems to be less continent abundant, does seem to kind of represent this area right here. Yeah. It does have sense. It does make sense in the purely aesthetic sense. Interesting. There's definitely some coincidences. Well, not coincidences, of course. Whoever made this map knew what they were doing, I suppose. This thing right here, the sea right here, could be this. Hence why Lemuria is necessary for this map to be addition to the one of the moon. But then it kind of falls apart in right this area. I don't really see the similarities between this area of the moon and this area of Earth. I don't see it honestly. So I don't know really what that is about. But that said, it still is very interesting. And that said, it's very interesting. I'm very
Hijacks it, man. Right. The hijacks. Because they trying to figure it out. He's now connecting the entire, the vibes of the cosmos drop, right? And then they're going to connect it to the Nazca phone drop. And we got to connect it to our own recon. Man, let's get a little more
hard to read. There's really not much quality to the map itself. Literally 2 pixels, that kind of stuff that you can't really see. You have to analyze it based on the aesthetic instead of the actual words. I would have loved to see what this says, like in a better kind of light, maybe even in English or in Spanish or in Italian, one of the languages that I can actually speak. Hell, give it in Latin, whatever. I'll try translating that as well. What else? We do have one last map that I want to show you about this entire like thing I found, or that it was shown to me. And this one is kind of like insane. Okay, this one is less. It makes less sense than the other ones, I think. This one is supposed to be like a
Now he says that, but this one actually got some drop, man. So dodge the hijack.
Presentation, and I'm pretty sure this was made by some Brazilian people. And although all these maps are the same map, like we can see, it's all the same map. This one is the same map in the like purely like it's same shadows, same shapes, but it definitely was like a remake of these because it does not have anything in common. And it's very funny that there's like a random Brazil flag just coming out of South America there. So clearly made by the Brazilian person. Also the
that doesn't mean clearly made by a Brazilian person. That just means that, they had their eye on something particular happening in South America, man. Stop tripping.
Accent of America makes me think that as well. We have interesting things in this map. We have what seems to be Mu, actually named Mu, so hence why I was calling this Mu. But if we go like this, I think this says Lemuria, not Mu. So some people think it's Mu, some people think it's Lemuria. So, we have some.
Managa, they got it there, right? So how do we know what's lying in the Pacific? And how do we know that's not connecting directly with our ancestry, connecting with the peopling of America, connecting with all this Exodus flow? Let's go. Antarctica flow.
Labels for continents, and randomly the Arab Emirates, which I don't know why the Arab Emirates, especially like in such a long landmass. Also, the shapes of the continents are all wonky and wrong in most cases compared to the actual maps that we were seeing before. So I don't know what that's about. We have a North Pole, so at least I think somewhat this map is supposed to be spherical. I'm not sure, but you know, pole kind of refers to the concept of like having actual poles, and you kind of have to be a sphere to have poles. So I think this map not might be even flat Earth, but it's still the same map. So I don't really know how they explain it to themselves. And then we have continents here that used to be like these part of Antarctica, these kind of like things linked to the German expeditions. And here they're in Spanish or Portuguese, more likely. And they just seem to be random stuff thrown into it, like without many senses. This reminds me a lot of the Nos Confunden map, but it's like if it was made by somebody that has no idea what they're doing. I don't really like this map. Plus, there's just random images right here that don't really.
That's not random. You just don't know. Don't say it don't mean nothing because you don't know what it is. You got to recon, man. Come on.
Mean anything. And once again, there's like this comparison with the moon, and the continents are all wonky again. You can like Europe doesn't even exist here. North and South America, yes, but Europe is like cut open to like make it more look like the moon's seas. But you know, doesn't really work. I think. Plus, there's images of clocks for some reason. Whatever, interesting. And we have Ramales, Kalis, Ralid, Talmis, Capella, Nibiru. So we have Nibiru.
Clock's got to do with time, right? Time zones, time travel, vortexes.
Nibiru here, you know, Nibiru, the planet, the plane of existence.
So you got Nibiru. Ain't that supposed to be a sun or star, but it's a whole land, right? You got Capilia. You can't even know. You don't even know what Capilia is, but we done talk Capilia out the WASP. And they said this is a person, a deliverer, just like China is a man, is a deliverer, just like Moses at the same time. They call it contemporaneous, meaning they lived at the same time. You have China, you have Moses and Capilia out of India. We're talking India Superior though, right? And they're living at the same damn time. This is a deliverer, Manak.
We talked about in a past Nos Confunden video. We have Cyclops. We have Cyclops here. All right. And we have the Pleiades. So stars. Atlantis is here again. Guys, I really don't know how to take this. Am I supposed to take this seriously? This looks way worse.
Pleiades, Orion. It's deep though.
Worse than these ones. These look like they were made in that time period. They were studied upon, and this one looks like some guy just went on Photoshop and just dyed this map and just put in random names.
But he got a different drop. For some reason, he ain't vibing with this one. But it is connected with the moon, so we talking vibes of the cosmos.
We have Sirius, we have Mars, we have Orion here. Right. Marduk, the Marduk base in Antarctica. But we don't have New Schwabeland anymore. We don't even have this area here. It was like cut off. So yeah, I don't really like this one. I don't really like this one one bit. And I had to like censor a huge part of it because I had a huge like German symbol from that era, the one I'm talking about earlier. And it was huge, it was incredibly big, and I had to cut it off because I really could not show it. So that's not good either. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this one is more like a joke, while these are supposed to be actually analyzed in detail. I wish I had a better version of it once again, but I don't. So yeah, you'll just have to stick with me with this one, okay, guys? Yeah, I think this will be it for this video. It was a shorter video, and it was not what we usually do, so our main series, but I really wanted to just delve into it for 1 second, because, you know, it is still very interesting. I just didn't really know what was going on. And if you guys know more about it, I would love to know what you know about this map in the comments. And also, one thing I noticed, the last thing I want to talk about, is the fact that in this map, here, it's like super terrible graphic, but I could understand what they're saying, and they're saying Gog and Magog. And I've been getting comments since the start of my channel to talk about Gog and Magog, and I really don't know how to begin.
Well, this is where we'll take it from here, Italian PSC. Hey, ThaWaDa, man, because, you know, Gog and Magog have an interesting connection, right? We'll just say that $1,000 book, Medieval Empire of the Israelites, about Gog and Magog, right? Y'all remember that Robert Grisham flow? Yeah, you got it out the Prester Paks. You got the drive. Get that Prester 3. Hit the link, man. Or, you know, hit our Cashapp 25 until this Shabat, man, because we want to get another 50-something videos on there, man. Let's see. Belly flop, man. Belly flop. Let's go like 323. Gog and Magog, man. We heard this before. Okay. Yeah. Here we're talking about Afghana. It's Jeremiah. Yeah. King Saul's son is Jeremiah, who has a son Afghana. And now they got Afghanistan. Interesting, right? He served in the high position in the rule of King David, Afghana. Right? And then Kish becomes Arab al-Rashid because Muhammad changed his name. Kish is Saul's dad, and now he's supposed to be the one to spread Islam to Hebrews, right? Just like the hijack of Christianity, trying to convert Hebrews to Christianity. Now, what does it say about Gog and Magog? Huh? Talking Prester John. In the medieval sources, Prester John controls and holds back the tribes of Gog and Magog. So even as he says Gog and Magog, we still connected directly with Prester John. Now back up. The symbol of the Grail is a symbol of authority and traditions which are inherited part and parcel of the legendary Prester John, the legend of whom was spread widely in the Middle Ages. John was the master of a huge empire. He was omnipotent and all-powerful. Prester John. That's why you're searching for HaWah and King David. John is king. One shepherd, right? All-powerful. Kings and czars were for him only subjects. Tractatus Pulcherimus calls John the King of Kings. This is a Hebrew Khan. He's the Rex Regna. He combines in himself spiritual and secular authority. There ain't no room for no JC Yahushua when you already got your Prester John. And while Muhammad is making Kish convert Israelites to Islam, that ain't no Prester John flow. Prester John brings you back to the Creator directly. You got that water, you got that fountain of youth with King David. He ain't no Islam, he ain't no Christian. This is a Hebrew. By God's grace, Lord of all lords, who are only beneath heaven, from the rising of the sun of paradise on earth. In all the medieval sources, Prester John controls and holds back the tribes of Gog and Magog, and controls the seen and unseen worlds. He impedes the penetration into his kingdom of lions and giants. Imperial military units correspond to the lions, which have portrayals of a lion on their ensigns. The degraded caste of warriors who have renounced high principles and fell into the grip of arrogance, violence, militancy corresponds to the giants or titans. The giants, according to the epic literature of those times, were worshippers of the wolf or the dog-headed tribes. Silence of Phala. Yeah, some sources maintain that Xerxes, Alexander the Great, the Roman emperors, Ogier, King of Denmark, and many others visited the kingdom of Prester John, and there they were accorded legitimization of their status as rulers. So you had to be legitimized by Prester John, which today would be the Pope, but that's the hijack Prester, because the Prester is the original Pope. You had to go, if you want a legit kingdom, the Pope has to sign off on it, man. Just like the Dum Diversus Papal Bull, Dum Diversus 1452, Pope Nicholas said, go subjugate all these darkies everywhere they are, right? Well, really, Israel everywhere they are. John's kingdom is named the Empire of the Great Khan. What did we just read in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, right? Columbus is looking for the Great Khan. In mysterious and miraculous stories, that is the Khan father. So they got the Godfather today, but then it was the Khan father, the priest father, right? In Slavic, Bati Khan. In Hebrew, is Bat is the house of the Khan, or Batu Khan is one of Genghis Khan's relatives, right? Either way, you got Vatican, which was originally the house of the Khan, who sits in the center of the world. Whoa. According to the descriptions of Marco Polo, Hayden, Mandeville, Gianni, De Plano, Carpini, and others, he was understood as all-powerful sovereign of a huge country, as a wise, right, an historian, wise counsel, right, and happy monarch, which fully corresponds to our version. The main conclusion is the idea of the Grail is the idea of imperial power. And imperial power means you are represented as the king of kings. One shepherd forever, my knight. And this book costs $1,000. Wow. I mean, wow, right? Italian PNC. Wow. Let's keep going, man, because we're making the best dismount of all time. Now, come on, hijack. Close that. What they doing? What y'all doing over here, man? What? Nah, man. Slide. Go back, Jack. We're trying to hijack me. Try to make me agree to something I don't agree with. Oh, man. Come on, man. Stop playing. I'm going to get a little more Italian PNC right quick. Let's get some more drop. No, actually, I want to get some vibes. That's what I want to get. Now, he was talking about the moon map. He was confused, right? He didn't know what was up. This moon map situation. Now, think about what he just said with the vibes. Get the vibes again. Now, look at this little tool that the vibes is, giving you a little key right here. Just pay attention, right? Because then he changes it to this joint, right? So this was the same color as we were just getting in the Italian PNC of all this Antarctica. But guess what it has here? Land. And yes, it's connected with the moon and vibes. Without even saying nothing, it's just going to show you what Italian PNC was trying to figure out with the correlation with the land masses and the oceans of the moon and the earth plane. Let's get a few minutes, man. And tell me, is it play? Shout out to Vibes of the Cosmos. Got the wheel. Okay. This will be the Hyperborea flow, right? Hyperborea flow, right? He's just, zooming in, zooming out, showing you how things connect. And he has a ton of videos, showing side by sides and different connections as well with this moon situation. But all this that he's showing, according to his recon, is all verifiable terms of the masses themselves as being reflections of this big mirror disk, plasma disk, called the moon. Called the moon. Show you something. Okay, so here we go. Right, so this is kind of what a time PNC is looking at. If you compare this map with what we just saw, go back, complete this ring around. And this is like an inverted situation from what we were just looking at. But this has everything to do with the moon, which is probably why they had the moon on the other map too. Who got the drop? Who got the drop? Who got the drop? Who got the drop? Who got y'all see something? What y'all see? You see, boss. Orinoco. Okay. That's that Mount Roraima flow, Venezuela flow. All right, we see it. Right? We see clearly.
Saving time and money on
Come on,
business
bro.
travel
I'm gonna
is
save
the easiest
time
way to live on.
and
Once
skip
you
this
set up a
hijack.
monthly
That's what I'm
travel
gonna do.
policy, employees see exactly what they can and can't book.
Save
When
time and skip the hijack. So we see it's all happening. We see it's popping off. And they're searching for the Prester, man. All this has to do with the Prester. All this orientation pies and orientation enchiladas, because they're looking for them, right? This is why we're looking. This is why we got Hosea 3, because we're looking, they're looking, but we have to look 1,000 times harder than them. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, once we encode, we've done 95% because we encode. So we're going to have the dragonfly perspective. All we got to really do is keep the water flowing. 1145 to 1645. What man do you look for 500 years? Unless he got that water, that fountain, that magic water. He got that sauce. He whom I will raise up, right? Jeremiah 30. And, you know, just to get some, clarity on what this is looking like. This Prester John monument, you can kind of see it here, and they even got Prester John, a depiction of Prester John, and one of the hijacks who's looking for him, looking the opposite way because he's looking the wrong way, searching for the priest king Prester John. It's a good little picture right here. So that's supposed to be the Prester with sort of the turban flow, and the explorer that's looking for him is looking the opposite way. And this is on the top of the same monument we just read. You can kind of see the whole thing if you pan out like this, and the inscription on it when you zoom in, you know what I mean? It's gonna say, to the seafarers searching for Prester John. And different languages on each side. This is the Portuguese side, Prester WANO. And they got the Prester on top, man. Cray, right? Cray, right? Who is Prester John? Who is Prester John? And what man do they search for 500 years? And then they stop when they find you in America? Is that what happened, boy? Did they stop when they found you in America? And why is he acting all sensitive about these funny, crooked-legged crosses, right? Because we're just talking Tao. Swastika is not a bad word, man. All right? You say a symbol that's one of the oldest symbols made by humans. The swastika dates back some 6,000 years, so it's got nothing to do with Nazis. They just hijacked the Tao the same way the Christians hijacked the cross, which is the Tao. And the Hebrew is the last letter of the Hebrew, right? The last letter of the Hebrew is the Tau, is the Tau. We see clearly, boss. It's okay. They could take down our links, but we just gonna find more and more. There we go. It's okay. We see it. The last letter is the Tau, right? X marks the spot, 2 cross sticks, mark, sign, monument. So what happens when they hijack the Tau? What happens when they hijack the Tau? And, put their own JC on the Tau now, right? Now JC's on the Tau. We know there's different variants of this situation. Old school. You got Arabian, Chinese, Phoenician Tau, or Hebrew Tau. The Hindu is who directly this Nazi, German, swastika thing's coming. But the Hindu, Buddhist, all this is the same thing. The early Christian was even the swastika, man. It was just the Tau. All this is the Tau. In gematria, the Tau means 400, right? You're in captivity 400 years, and then you got a mark. Then you got a sign. Then you got a covenant. We're just talking ancient Hebrew, what they'll call Phoenician, which connects to the, Hindu and all that. Mark, sign, covenant is the Tau. Mark, sign, signal. So their mark is not your mark. Their covenant, my nigga, is not your covenant. We're talking about an indigenous symbol. Scholars generally agree it originated in India. We're talking India's period, boss. With the emergence of the Sanskrit language came the term swastika, combining the su, or good, or asti, to be, in other words, well-being. So this word had to do with well-being and fortune. It had nothing to do with Nazi, evil. It has to do with well-being, good. The swastika is widely used Native American symbol. Body bag. Used by the Navajo, used by the Hopi clans, all this stuff, right? So, yeah, buddy. Yeah, indigenous kind. And since we know we're just talking Tao, right? Because there's many variations of this Tau. It also comes to mind the Zia flag we just talked about in Cibola, which is also a Tau representing this child of the sun, the sun symbol. As they try to say, it also has this, winter, spring, summer, fall connection, or infancy, youth, adult, old age, or northwest, east, south, all this stuff, dawn, daylight, that. But really, we know it's representing the sun. Then you got the golden condor right on there, just like the cities of gold. I said Zia got her own flag. It's the national flag of New Mexico, so Zia's real, Esteban's real, and Tau is also real. And Tau is represented by the Tau. Tau is the Tau, but they also have a whole city of Tau, Tau town. And New Mexico goes up for Tau and goes up for Zia, you know what I'm saying? So this ain't no play, right? The Tau is the Tau, oldest symbol. So, he's all finicky. Oh, no, this is this, and I can't say that word swastika. All right, we'll say Tau, right? Because we speak Tau very well. How many Taus, right? So again, the word swastika comes from the Sanskrit svastika, meaning good fortune or well-being, Manak. Let's go. So don't let them hijack, you know what I'm saying? The most indigenous symbol in Christianity, they hijacked it. They hijacked it, and, their movements, swastika, yada, yada, yada. But we're just talking two cross sticks. We're talking intersecting lines, right? That's all we're talking about. Intersecting lines. We're making our dismount. Prester 138. We did it a little differently, connected, deeper into the flat drive, but we had to bring it back home, man, to the ancient love song. The ancient Hebrew puts us in the vibration, you know what I'm saying? So we can hear again, so we can hear the ancient love song, so we can reach our Tau once more. They changed the W's to V's, right? The Tau to Tav. They changed the Wa to Va, right? So now, whenever they say Lord in the Bible, you click on the lexicon, it says Hava now instead of HaWah, right? One letter rule, man. They just trying to flip up the frequency. I do want to get to this German flow because that map had all this German writing on it. And I'm like, who's the Germans, man? Full born? Okay, so what does German mean? In etymology, it's an adjective of the same parents or grandparents, like a brotherhood, like a sisterhood, right? So before you think Nazis and blue-eyed, yada, think swarthy and think family, think tribe, right? Of the same parents or grandparents, related, right? 13th century from old French, Germain, own, fool, born of the same mother and father, closely related. That's what a German is. Now they make it a negative connotation, germ, disease, but they were proud to be Germans. Why? Because they were tied into nobility that was tied into a family of the same mother, father, closely related family, one's own brother, genuine. So to be a German is to be genuine, is to be real, is to be actual. Is to be actual, is to be real, is to be true. You can't be a German if you ain't on that truth. And the truth is HaWah. The truth is your code. That's your actual truth. Are you real? Are you genuine? Then it connected it with sprouting, right? Budding. Like the righteous shoot, sprout, budding. Gene, give birth, beget. German is gene, giving birth. I mean, this is a beautiful thing to be German, man, because that means I'm genuine. To be German is to be genuine. I can dig it. We can dig it. Swarthy, because Benjamin Franklin says in the Observations of Mankind, 1751, that all these Europeans are swarthy. Yeah. Now, whether they're swarthier than others, swarthies, or just less swarthy, they're swarthy. Dark hue, right? Dark hue. Dusky complexion. So we're talking complexion. Tawny, which is when you look up tawny, it's going to say swarthy. Same thing. The complexion of men is universally swarthy or black. The Moors, Spaniards, Italians are more swarthy than the French, Germans, and English. Selling of Joseph, 1700. So Benjamin Franklin, 1751. Selling of Joseph, 1700. Put it together. Yeah, it goes deep. I'm going to get the dismount, but it goes deep. Because he's comparing, he's pretty much doing like, here's their issue and here's my answer for the issue, right? They may say, oh, here's why we should keep slavery going. He's saying here's why you shouldn't. And he's comparing these people, even when he does call them Africans, he's comparing them to Israel. You know, the people coming over here, you know, whether they're coming from Africa or the Caribbean, we don't know. Because, you know, they were taking Nagas from Brazil, dropping them off in Mississippi. We don't know. And telling them they from Africa. So, you know, a lot of truth comes with some lies too, right? So, dodge the hijacks. But it says, it is observable that the Israelites were strictly forbidden the buying and selling of one another for slaves. And God gauged his blessing in lieu of any loss they might concede they suffered thereby. And since the partition wall is broken down, partition wall, right? Like the ice wall, right? To see new lands. That's how they felt when they found you. That the partition wall is broken down. And order and self-love should likewise be demolished. God expects that Christians should be of a more ingenuous, benign frame of spirit. Christians should carry it to all the world as the Israelites were to carry it to one towards another. So we're supposed to keep the light, at least in their perspective, going and passing to one another, right? This frame of spirit, this benign, this goodness. And all the Christians should carry it to the world. No. We are the light of the world. Let's go. And for men obstinately to persist in holding their neighbors and brethren under the rigor of pabu doom diverse, perpetual bondage, right? Seems to be no proper way of gaining assurance that God has given them spiritual freedom. Our blessed Savior has altered the measures of the ancient love song, boss. Who's their blessed Savior? Who's their Savior? Christians, right? Yeah. So they're saying JC has changed your vibration because you've been hijacked. They took and altered. They changed your love song, man. They changed your AI. They changed our breath, right? Because now we got to go through a hijack to get to our creator instead of going to the creator and then now being deserving of your one shepherd, King David. No, now you got to go through JC to get to the Father. Nah, that's altering the measures of the ancient love song and set it to a most excellent new tune, Manai. The new tune is Yahweh. The new tune is JC. The new tune is go through this to get to that instead of going directly to that, which is HaWah. That's our ancient love song. That's our vibration. Direct code keeping. Nagas. Not no new tune. Oh no. Which all ought to be ambitious of learning. Hijack City. These Ethiopians. Because we talking Americans, but now we're called Ethiopians. These Ethiopians, as black as they are, seeing that they are the sons and daughters of the first Adam. Whoa. So these swarthy Nagas are the sons and daughters of the first Adam and the brother and sisters of the last Adam. My guess would be what Noah repopulated after the flood would be the last Adam. So sons and daughters of the first Adam, brother and sister of the last Adam, and the offspring of HaWah. Back to that Indios flow, right? Indios of God, offspring of God. They ought to be treated with a respect agreeable, boss. Now, this is written way back when. Again, 1700s, selling of Joseph. So this whole drop is about the selling of Israel into slavery. I'll leave it for you. You get the drop because we know what old Germany looked like. We know what these Ethiopians, these genuines look like. Shout out to Real History WW. You know, we've been digging on these paintings, not drawings, paintings like this one of Black Germany, history of the Black Holy Roman Empire. Otto, right? The first. Edith of England. Niggas. This is Casper. Casper the Friendly Ghost, man. What happened to Casper, though? What they do to Casper? Yeah. The Black Romans, the Black Germans, the Black Russians, the Black Americans, the Black Asians, the Black Africans, right? Everywhere. The Black Australians. So where did these other people come from? We're back to talking worlds beyond the pole. Casper the Friendly Ghost, the Black King of Germany, is Casper. Yeah. Straight up, right? Casper the Friendly Ghost. Ain't that something, man? They done turn a nog into a ghost. White ghost. Now, not even a swarthy ghost. Then you got this drop right here. German Moors of Strasbourg by Mark Washington. And here's these swarthy genuines, these Germans fighting off which looks like Caucasian wild men. And this is who became the Germans in their images today. But there was a fight to take Germany. And without our power fighting for us out of cold, we had no chance in the long run until we got back to MHOE, my nine. But you see what the Germans are fighting. You see what these genuines are up against. So by the time we see this German ice wall and all this stuff, these are the Germans, man. The Swarthies. Black Germany, prince of the Holy Roman Empire. You remember this guy? Yeah, they tried to throw you off and call him Prince of on Congo, Prince of the Congo, on a visit to Portugal. Know that the prince wears European clothing and icons, a royal coronet or cap, two versions of the Teutonic Knights of the Holy Roman Emperor's cross patee on his band, the Iron Cross, version commonly used by the modern German military, and a triangular close-tip version of the cross patee. These types of crosses are also common on British. The Brits are black, the Germans are black, Russians are black. Romans are black. So the British heraldry, because the current British royalty are of German extraction. So the German connection connects with the Brit connection, which are all swarthy, which explains why Tecumseh was tribing up with certain of the Brits, because they were still swarthy cousins and family. And of course, you got black as King Charles. Black as in wicked, my nigga. Black as in wicked. 1500s, yeah. Columbus found you in 1492. Here comes Black Charles. So who's signing off on this, man? But the Charles family and other swarthy knockers. And if this is what the Holy Roman Emperor looks like, my nigga, the King of Spain, Portugal, all these are swarthy. If the Roman Emperor is a swarthy knocker, you gotta know. His whole family, everyone before him, this is what it is. We're talking swarthy Germans like Benjamin Franklin is saying, all right? These Germans didn't just come out of nowhere. They were already swarthy way back to the 1500s and before that. So by the time we're reading this thing in 1751, Observations of Mankind, he says, yeah, the Germans are swarthy. Yeah. It's been swarthy for a long time, tribe. Just like they've been searching for Prester John for a long time. 1145 to 1645. That's before Charles was born. 1145, that's Genghis Khan era, man, right? And his people still searching all throughout swarthy Rome, swarthy Germany, swarthy France and Britain, swarthy Sweden, right? Swarthy Russia, swarthy Spain, and swarthy Portugal. They were looking for a swarthy Prester John in swarthy America, boss. Who oh who? Who oh who is Prester John? Man, I hope you enjoy digging down and digging up in the 138th installment, my night, of this is your investigation, Prester John investigation, man. And we just claim to be genuine again, about our code keeping. We claim to be real again. We claim to be German again, right? So that when we see these maps and we start talking Germany, boss, we know we're talking about us. We know we back home. We start talking Germany and Hitler and Antarctica, swastikas. We could talk Tau. And they say even the Twitter uses the Tau. Even the Twitter is using the Tau. Ain't that something? Oh yeah, Hitler explored beyond the ice wall. Or these Germans are swarthy. And these swarthies being connected to Antarctica or Tara Sancta Kanka. I think we seeing clear. Y'all seeing clearly? Huh? We can put it together. Even in their Mercator projections, look how big Antarctica is, just covering so much, like it's ready to wrap around, right? It's not some little blob anymore. No, it's a big, huge. It's bigger than all these lands together, man. And it connects to more worlds. Germans are swarthy. Benjamin Franklin told you so. So they're searching. They turn Antarctica to this little blob now. Amari, uh-oh. Mary Theodorus, uh-oh. And now we say, okay, well, now that we know we're not spinning on a ball, because a planet is a plane and the plane is flat. This German ice wall thing is flat and these gateways are shown. We start to get even a clearer perspective that this is an infinite plane that the Creator continues to create. And we don't know how many ice walls, how many worlds are within what they would call the greater dome. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dizzle Fitty with that great drop. This one got 5 ice walls. It got this inner sun in the middle that they say is like a newborn sun, plasma popping off. Right? We got the water. Look at the arrows, right? Going clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. What kind of vortex does it create? What kind of energy, magnetism does that create, my noggin? Why is this called the Forbidden Channel? And why is this Hell's Island, man? Atlantis way out here. Interesting, right? Lemuria in here. Was all this out here originally in here? And, is this going back in the past and the future when we talk time and east and west? I mean, clockwise, counterclockwise. When you go clockwise, you're going east. That means you're coming to America, baby. Coming to the Far East, man. Yeah, we're having a good time with these maps because we have orientation pies now. We got foundation. A true map of the earth. Well, true. To be true is to be genuine. To be genuine is to be German. God. And even Genie told us in the world's beyond a pole that you keep going straight, you run into more land, more water, more vegetation. (1956), January 13th, members of the United States expedition accomplished a flight of 2,700 miles from the base of McMurdo Sound, which is 400 miles west of the South Pole, and penetrated a land extent 2,300 miles beyond the pole. Radio announcement confirmed by the press February 5th. I love this poem right here, man. Because we're talking vast new lands that they're finding. Exhibition after exhibition. 1957, the enchanted continent in the sky, land of everlasting mystery, arrow bird. How do you have land in the sky, boss? We're talking about heavenly land, celestial land. And this is why these hijacked gods promise their heavens, because they're just promising more land in the sky. But is it outside the great dome, right? Is it outside the firmament? Or is it trapped in the barrier? And what do firmaments have to do with the great ice wall? Only dreams are true. The tangible and real on which our lives are based was yesterday's idea, a rosy picture traced by some quaint visionary, impractical half-crack, painting his fancies airy, and now it's a solid fact. Whatever we hold stable, dependable and sane, was once a hopeful fable of castles built in Spain. Before the fact, the fancy, before the deed, the dream, that builds by necromancy, sorcery, witchcraft, the hard material scheme. It's all sorcery. All this material scheme is sorcery. So all your towers that shimmer, your lamps that light the sky, were once a tiny glimmer within some seer's eye. Sorcery. They just making this stuff up, making us believe it, making it a hard material scheme because we believe it, we materialize it, but it's just a fancy and it's just necromancy. Time makes our empire scatter, but we shall build anew, for only visions matter and only dreams are true. Burton Brady, pop off, man. And we've been jumping in and out of this drop because all the time it's going to tell you what it is. Let's get it from here. Belly flopping. It is the globe symbol which conveys the false idea. For press and public, page 22, pull up the link. Over the pole, from one side of the earth to the other side is possible. That symbol does not attest to the realistic extent of the earth or the earth's factual relation to the universe whole. It is simply a convenience of archaic theory. It was never anything else. Trips from Alaska to Spitsbergen and vice versa represent movement only in the west to east and east to west direction. They were never journeys due north from the Arctic Circle to and over the pole. No explorer has ever moved over the pole point, north or south, and arrived on the other side of the earth in a manner indicated by the globe symbol. If movement could be made over the pole, and if it were possible to return to the starting point on the opposite side of the supposedly isolated globe, Earth, there could be no possibility of going beyond the pole, Earth, as has been accomplished since 1928. No beyond could exist unless it were the originally conjured space, the formidable factor prohibiting airplane flight or other movement in a northerly direction from one side of the North Pole area and arriving on the opposite side, as the globe symbol indicates, is that endless land extending beyond the pole point. That land, unknown to the theorists of 1543, is the land its author's treatise described as early as 1927, and it is the land beyond which Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd, U.S. Navy, a naval task force, penetrated in February 1947. The ideal factor of land beyond applies as a prohibiting agent to any southerly movement over the South Pole, which would permit return on a northerly course to other areas of the mathematically prescribed, quote, globe Earth. All movement north from the North Pole and south from the South Pole must of physical necessity lead beyond the Earth's northern and southern mathematical boundaries, and it leads directly away from and beyond the conjured, the spell, the necromancy of the globe Earth. And it should be remembered that the north, so-called north and southern Earth were only assumed. Bang. They were never fact. Further, the assumptive value was imposed by Naga more than 400 years ago, at a time when restrictions on polar expeditions prohibited determination of factual terrestrial extent. It should also be held in mind that the Earth cannot be circumnavigated north or south within the meaning of circumnavigate. However, certain around-the-world flights contributed to popular misconception that the Earth has been circumnavigated north and south. You want to circumnavigate your house? Go in a circle around your house. That's what it looks like on a flat plane. That's all circumnavigate. It means you're going in a circle. You want to circumnavigate the liquor store? Go in a circle around the liquor store. You want to circumnavigate that park? Drive in a circle around the park. Or take a boat in a circle around America and you win in a circle. But it has nothing to do with a sphere or popping out any part of the ball. You're just going in circles, boss. You're just going in circles. God. 178 worlds beyond the pole, they say. At least it's 178 worlds within the Great Dome. Shout out Dizzafitty for this drop, man. It's just amazing. Another Nas confounding masterpiece talking about, how many worlds could be within the greater dome. Get the drop, man. We went over some of this last time. Also got some of that Navigator drop last time. And we'll keep this flow going. We'll keep the flat drop, mixed in, immense within the Prester drop, because the orientation pies and Prester John and the map drop go hand in hand with the indigenous truth and the code keeper in you. When they say 178 worlds, are they talking flat, spread out, like planet, boss, in etymology, boss? Huh? Did they conjure up witchcraft to turn flat to a spinning ball, boss? Did they make something devious? Did they repel it? Did they dissuade it from the right path and bewilder a Naga? Got you arguing, talking about you spinning at 1,000 miles per hour? Boss, a planet is flat, spread out. Don't be making nothing devious. Don't be making nothing devious, because that's what they're doing. Right in our face, ball. Like I said, man, we're gonna keep, this flow going, this rhythm going when we talk orientation and we talk vibration, because this is what we do. This is what the Nagas do. Let's oh yeah. Hold on. Italian PNC. Like I said, already had some drop on the Prester flow, but there was one I didn't quite get, and maybe we can get a piece of that and let that take us into the next drop. 139 on deck. Wow. My Naga, this journey is a dream. Only dreams are true. Only dreams are true. ThaWaDa, my cons, for surfing the wave. 9 above the barrier, man. Above the barrier. Above the greater dome, man. Hey, it's all happening. So this one, says they mentioned some Prester drop. We'll get this for the dismount. Mysterious and forgotten lands. Iceberg explained. Italian P and C one more again. Garden of Asperities. That's Asperities. Foreign people. Okay, all right. Let's dig on it. Hey, we out of here, baby. Let's just keep being hijack free. Just remember, man, stay hijack free. I know it seems obvious, but hijack's waiting always around the corner. So, whenever you feel that vibration coming on, my knock, remember, man, stay up, suit up, and keep choosing up. That's the only way to stay on the water, to stay above the water, man, and become the water, and stay hijack free. All right, let's see if they want to play this or not. I don't know what they're doing. Come on, man, making my dismount. Stop playing. All right, man, let me get it like this. Greatest dismount of all time.
6 different layers, one more mysterious than.
Let go.
Last time we managed to cover the area about the iceberg with the most known entries. Then we took a look at. If you don't know what an iceberg video is, then it's quite simple to explain. just like a real iceberg. The video goes from the top, meaning the most visible part, to the bottom.
He's building his iceberg. Let's see how he has Prester John's kingdom right there in the middle. Sheba, right? Garden of Eden, Flola, Mary, and Mu all together. Cibola, Manak, Cathay. Everything we're talking about is right here in the recon. Let's go.
Bottom, the part nobody sees or knows about. This iceberg has around 40 entries, divided in 6 different layers, one more mysterious than the other. Last time we managed to cover the area about the iceberg, with the most known entries. Then we took a look at the top of the iceberg, finding out more about partially mysterious topics, and then we started to dive into the unknown, with Colchis and Lemuria. Today we'll continue from where we last left off. Remember to subscribe to the channel and comment under this video to help it spread to the algorithm and suggest you part 3, the final part of this iceberg, when it finally comes out. Now let's get to it.
Samir.
Prester John's Kingdom. This is a topic I recently discussed in the context of the second Ring Beyond the Ice Wall series I'm working on. There we saw how Prester John's successor state in the hypothetical continent of Azania might still go on to this day. But here I'll do my best to tell his story in history. The name of this legendary figure is first recorded in 1145, and his existence was still believed in up to the 17th century. When Africa fell to the caliphates in the early Middle Ages, it was thought that the land of the Monophysites and the Copts would be lost forever to Islam. And so the popular consciousness of the Europe of the time accepted the lands below the Holy Land as territories ruled by Muslim states. But one element rose up in the late Middle Ages that changed the perception of religion in the land of Kham. This was Prester John, a man both king and priest of a huge Christian empire in the distant lands, locked in a continuous war against Islam. Originally, it was thought that the location of Prester John's empire was in Asia, but after 1441, when an ambassador representative of a hidden Christian African kingdom reached the Christian Council of Florence, the area of John's realm shifted to Africa, more specifically Abyssinia, identified as the land of origin of the three Magi that brought gifts to Jesus after his birth in the Bible.
Magi.
The Christian realms had always wished for an ally against Islamic foes, and the story of Prester John was exactly what they needed to find hope of a Christian resurgence during the Crusades. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, the prophecy of Abyssinia rising up against the infidels and conquering the lands of origin of Muhammad was widespread across the patriarchs. Overall, the belief in Prester John's realm was almost universal, and when, during the Age of Discovery, the Portuguese would discover Ethiopia during their travels to the Indies, they would identify it as the kingdom of Prester John. Only during the 17th century would academics like German Orientalist Hiob Ludolf demonstrate that there was no real connection between Ethiopian kings and Prester John, ending the validity of this century-spanning legacy until now, when the idea was once again brought to light after many more researches. Mu. The sunken continent shares much with Atlantis, but its origin is way more recent. Its first appearance is in the works of Augustus Lepon-Lengeon, that in 1864 mistranslated the Truano Codex, a Mayan work of literature describing Yucatan's history, with the Landa alphabet. He would find that the word Mu referring to a lost land, and he would identify it as Atlantis, claiming that the civilization of Egypt was started by Queen Mu, a refugee from the sunken continent of Mu, with other refugees fleeing towards Americas and becoming the Maya. The submerged continent was popularized by James Churchward, a British occult writer that placed it in the Pacific Ocean, from the Mariana Trench to the Easter Island, explaining the loss of the continent as a result of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Even more modern figures, such as Ataturk, founder of the modern state of Turkey, was interested in the concept of Mu, and identified it as a possible homeland for the Turks. Ogygia. Ogygia is the mysterious island described in Homer's Odyssey. During Odysseus' journey back to his motherland, the island of Ithaca, Odysseus stumbled upon Ogygia, where the nymph Calypsos detains him for 7 years and intends to marry him. Eventually, Odysseus is allowed to leave the island following the intervention of the gods. The island was described by many as being the furthest point west from Ulysses' starting location, so Greece. Some associate it with islands near the Straits of Gibraltar, others think it's the mythical Atlantis, while some modern figures, like Ruahidri of Laith Beharteg, believe it's in Ireland. Ogygia is also one of the topics that were mentioned inside the Beyond the Ice Wall series, in this case the original one, and it was inspiration to the island of Ogygia, which was called the Island of Doom there. The Garden of the Hesperides. Like many hidden lands in ancient Greek mythology, the Garden of the Hesperides makes no difference. The Hesperides were a group of nymphs of the evening, daughters of the Titan Atlas, the divine entity that held up the entire world upon his shoulders. They lived in a lush garden that featured some of the trees of golden apples, which were a wedding gift from the primordial Gaia to Zeus. A dragon called Ladon was said to be the protector of this garden, killing whoever tried to steal the golden apples. In more modern times, it was realized that these golden apples probably referred to oranges, a fruit widely unknown to Europe.
Yeah, people say the golden apples also the pomegranates or the Chinese apple. And what does this dragon have to do with the dragon that's in the Garden of Eden flow? With the serpent in the garden flow, right? The dragon in the garden.
Before the Middle Ages, which meant that the garden itself could have existed as some sort of sanctuary to the sacred oranges of Atlas. Some of the proposed locations of the famous garden were Portugal and southern Spain, both areas that grew oranges before the rest of Europe. Sheba. Also known as Saba, this kingdom was well known to all of Christendom and to the Jews, due to its presence in various passages of the Bible. In the Holy Book, the Queen of Sheba would have visited the legendary King Solomon. Even in the New Testament, Sheba is mentioned in the book of Matthew and Luke. Ethiopian sources place the location of the kingdom in the eastern regions of Ethiopia. This is in contrast to the placement of Sheba as a kingdom between modern-day Yemen and Djibouti, as it grew rich through the trade along the incense route. Even sources in the Quran tell of a lavishly rich Sheba, in control of all the spices and the fertile plains of the Arabian Peninsula, the part called Arabia Felix.
And Sheba would be Cibola on the American map. Sheba is Shambhala. Shambhala is Cibola is Sheba.
The presence of Sabaeans.
Shout out Daniel Lowe. The Sabaeans, all this stuff, man. Connected to Queen Mothers, man. Which connects to the Queen Father, or the King Fathers, man. The Presters and the Shebas always came together. Let's get a couple more minutes for the Disma.
The name of the people of the Kingdom of Sheba is also well attested historically, as their writing script was so popular, it still influences some of the languages spoken today in Ethiopia and Eritrea, such as Amharic and Tigrinya.
Okay.
Thule, known in medieval and...
Alright, so go get the drop. He got that drop in Time PNC. Also has that second ring drop. We got some drop out of last time as well. Which is, again, independent researchers connecting this world beyond a pole flow, to, this orientation, this Prester flow, this Lost Tribes flow, this Israel flow, And, we don't have to go too far, to be in the flow, to be in the vibration of what's really going on. Again, the British Museum got the Prester flow, right there, in India, it's a period right here in America. And it's worth noting, that one place connects to another place, and it doesn't have to be side by side. You could be talking about the fifth ice ring, right? The seventh ice ring could still have vortexes, and even this researcher admits that. He's like, yeah, all this could be connected through vortexes, yada yada. So we got to realize and see clearly that it truly is all happening. This vortex connects with that vortex, connects with this portal, like Godzilla movies, the Marvel flows, the spinning animation flow. You know what I'm saying? The truth sounds stranger than fiction, but that's why they put it in the Marvels and the anime and cartoons and all this other stuff, man. This is for you to get, man, but we've been surfing the wave, digging on it. Prester John's second ice ring flow. And, again, he connects with the possibilities of this all being, vortexes that connect these things. They can dip in and out these ice rings mighty fast with the right technologies, man. So expand your mind, Bone. When we talk Prester John, we are talking, but we're also talking the present, and we're also talking the future. You're talking King of Kings, you're talking dragons, you're talking land of giants, Gog and Magog, right? You're talking scripture, right? Priest King, whom I will raise up for you, Jeremiah 30. Search for HaWah and King David, Hosea 3, right? One shepherd forever. Ezekiel 34, Ezekiel 37, covenant of Shalom with David, covenants forever. You already know.
Oh yeah, this one.
Some crazy sounds in here.
That's the worst commercial. It's the worst commercial I've ever seen. Y'all need to redo that. Just a bunch of sounds and goofy.
And I don't want to waste too much time on them. So I hope you guys agree with me on the Azania topic, and if you don't, you're free to leave the comments and explain.
Let's get a piece. Best dismount of all time, my night. The kingdom of Prester John, right in your face, ball. Italian PNC.
Church. Of course, this is in the setting of medieval times, so if you were a Christian, you kind of had to have contacts with the Catholic Church. Even the Orthodox Christians, which were the Christians that developed after 1054, so in the Eastern Roman Empire and the Slavic populations appear, still had contacts with the Catholic Church, even if they were not really good contacts. But to have a Christian realm, a big empire that was Christian, and not be anywhere near Europe, and also not be linked with the Pope, the papacy, and the Catholicism, was something crazy to medieval Europe and medieval Christianity as a whole.
Because it wasn't Christian. What they're labeling Christian, they also label Nestorian. And that means you're connected to an old king, renowned for wise counsel. So they didn't have to connect to no European Pope. These Presters, these Hebrews, even the Mongols and Genghis Khan, they said, man, the Pope better come bow down to us. We ain't bowing down to no Pope. So what do you think the Presters talking about? This is King of Kings, man. Ain't got to check in with no hijack. Hijack. They're trying to hijack. They try to check out what we do. You know what I'm saying? Get the drop.
So it just didn't make sense, but yet they all knew something like that existed. So it was crazy, but they did not know where it was. And this is where basically this whole thing comes to mind when it comes to this kingdom of Prester John. So is it possible that Azania was not here, but was actually outside of the second ring? And is it possible that of Prester John was not where we were going to see that it was proposed it was, but it was actually right here. So first of all, let's see.
Or like the British Museum, right? It was right here. Then you gotta say, what does right here, right, have to do with right there? Right? If we know that they just found us here. What is right here? And Prester John being on the map of the British Museum 1530. And India Superior right here. And you don't see no North America, boss. This is just India Superior. Prester John, man. Cathay, Mexico, Cuba. What does this got to do with right there? Kind of vortex in, Prester John's right over near Arizona, and then what does Sedona, Arizona, the Grand Canyon have to do with portals and vortexes that can pop you out past the second ice ring, boss? Because that's where he's showing this kingdom of Prester John outside 2 ice rings. It is hard to find. Navigate.
Basically, something about this Prester John. His wealth and power were unmatched in legend, and the only thing about him more famous than them were his animosity towards the Mohammedans, the Muslims, since he was said to be surrounded by them, and his country's existence at stake.
Because this Negro, Islam, Christian, even if you was an Israelite and you was out of code.
So what does that mean? Basically, it means that Prester John was not only a single figure, but it was also some kind of dynastic role, like a leadership role, like you would call a king or an emperor or something like that. So it was not a single person in a single time period, but something that existed for centuries. And it was also something that was at odds with the Muslim powers of the area. The question is, what if the Muslim powers were able to just defeat him and he was forced to flee? So next from that, let's see his proposed location on maps, because of course this is not only a matter of what he was, who he was, but also where he was, because of course Europe had heard about this Prester John.
But we just saw his location on the British Museum map in America. We know they're looking for him in Africa at some point when they called that Ethiopia. But we also know they're calling this Ethiopia here, and Samuel Sewall selling to Joseph just called you Nagas in America Ethiopians. Boss. So happened.
They had heard about this Christian empire, but it was not sure where he actually was, and where this Christian empire was even located. So, when it comes to its location, there is much debate to be had. Some during the Middle Ages identified this realm with the ones in Tartaria and Mongolia. We just did a video on Tartaria, the second last video we did, and it was basically this area right here. Basically what I'm doing with my mouse here.
What does this Tartaria have to do with this Tartaria? Because on the maps on India Superior, they also call this Grand Tartaria. And see how it's connected basically with North America, boss. So y'all peoples is tripping, right? Then they start looking in Africa, and then they stop looking over there, right? Remember, they searching for 500 years, boss, man. I'll leave the links, you get the drop. I'll leave the links, you get the drop. We're talking genuine Arab, genuine Arab proper. We're talking genuine German. Truth, true, real Nagas, right? What real Naga you searching for? From 1145 to 1645, right, cons? Who oh who is Prester John? And all I can tell you is that the investigation continues, because they're clearly looking for him, searching and investigating. Hosea 3 say you're going to return to the Creator. Seek the Creator directly, MHOE, and then search for Kanda we and be dripping in that water, that man sauce. Yo set, take the wheel. I appreciate you, cons. I'll see you on number 139. And it's all the way fine. It's all happening. SHALOW. Stay up, suit up, choose up. ThaWaDa. Halal HaWah. And remember, see that description below. Get in the drop and get your Prester Pak 3 for only $25 before the price doubles, you know what I'm saying? And all that, because the price is going up. All this is a whole lot of work, a whole lot of effort, and these flash drives, are costly. So it's going to go up. I'm trying to make it A1 like the sauce for my cons, getting the early bird special. If you want all 3 for $45, then that's what you put on the Cashapp. 432 the drop radio on Cashapp, all right? And hit us up 432thedrop@gmail.com and get get your shipping or any inquiries or anything you need. And, you know, we got you one ThaWaDa because you're the community, man. You're the tribe. You're the real ones. You're the Germans. You're the genuines. You know what I'm saying? You are Prester John. Halal HaWah.